get ready to the countdown.
I'll need my phone because it's got my sex fact on as well.
Yeah.
It's over there.
I'm not you fucking slave, you know.
Yes, you are.
It's only because I'm fucking near leg and cuddle up to each other. Craig, I'll fucking sit on your knee like a bigger. Oh no! Oh fucking hell, honestly, we've already had enough stains on there off fucking Saturday.
He does not.
We've had fucking,
So
fucking pussy
fixed?
juice and now fucking. Aye, it's fixed.
Oh,
I
right.
had to get the carpet
Canny.
cleaner out, didn't we?
Yeah, I
Not too
got the
bad.
carpet cleaner out, yep.
Fucking terrible.
I've never had anyone squirt like that ever. I don't even know if it was possible.
Oh, see that lass that I had at the sex shop.
Aye.
She was the only other person I've had that squirted like as much as that Morgan.
Aye.
Like upstairs in that dungeon thing, just the entire floor was just fucking covered.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more. The original, the best, the UK porn podcast, hosted by Paul Taylor and Scarlett Gray. Exclusive industry chat all about UK porn. Brought to you by Dusk Films. Sponsored by itsadult.com.
Right, hello, welcome to the UK Porn Podcast, sponsored by itsadult.com. And I've came up with a new catchphrase, right?
Alright.
Right.
UK Porn Podcast, coming in your ears. That's
That's
our
so
slogan.
sad. That's
Do you know what?
sad.
No, that can be in the
Come
fucking,
on.
that can be on a t-shirt. That.
No, I'm gonna go with Paul with this one.
Exactly.
I actually think that's
I
quite
thought you
good.
were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say her there.
No,
because
no,
she
no.
was doing everything she
He
said.
joined with me last
Yeah.
time.
Aye, did you?
I honestly thought it was gonna be a big pile of shite coming out your mouth, and that was quite good.
Great, wasn't it?
Uh,
So we're here to talk about, as usual, the adult industry, what's been going on in it, and how it's constantly changing. And we currently streaming on all major streaming platforms, including YouTube, Smashcast, Vaughn Live, YouNow, and you can catch the live feed on Twitter at It's Adult and UK Podcast _team. And we're back on Periscope, bitches.
Hey, not
Do you know what I mean?
bad.
The thing is, right, I've spent too much money
Yeah.
on this type of setup where if you cut my head off, I'm gonna fucking go too bad. Do you know what I mean? So it's
you're not
simple
gonna
as
let
that.
it put you down.
No, like nice try and everything. You know what I mean? You know
Fair
who you
dues.
are. You know what I mean? So I'll just leave it fucking there. Otherwise, it will be a 2-hour rant just about that. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, let's try and keep it fucking friendly, even though I don't fucking feel like it. So yeah, of course, as usual, when the stream's over, you can listen to the recorded version, but now watch the video version, both on itsadult.com/UK Porn Podcast. Because it suddenly occurred to us, like, our sponsors, if they miss a live show, yes, they can listen to it,
Yeah.
and so can everybody else, but they might want to see their brand being displayed in the video, so we're making that available as well on the same page. So fair's fair, you know what I mean? Don't want to think that we're taking your money and then saying we put your fucking advert down and going, he's just fucking 75 quid I've ever made that. Do you know what I
pretty
mean? It's
much.
like, we are honest people, really, aren't we? Like, we wouldn't give anyone banned. We don't do things
Nah,
like that, do
nah.
We don't come people.
It's below us.
we? Exactly.
We don't come women.
So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. 2 hours of chatting absolute bollocks as usual. Well, I'm usually the instigator of it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you
you know, but you
He's
know.
full of
definitely have
bullshit,
the
isn't
lion's
he?
share of it as well.
Yeah, all through my life, I've just talked and people just nod at us. They don't fucking say anything back.
Because
We
they
just
weren't really
go,
listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He just started talking and I zoned out. It's like,
Yep.
I'm used to that now, you know what I mean? Oh, and Ace is here as well. So big,
Yeah, you
big
can
fucking
hear his
surprise.
tittle tattle in the back.
It wouldn't be a podcast without him.
Of course it wouldn't. They might just listen for him.
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
I know I would.
Aye, well, exactly. and then he's gonna fucking hit the mic stand and then knock it over,
Bless him.
and we're live. You're gonna embarrass us, you bastard.
Yeah.
So, see, every time we call him bastard, look, he looks sad now.
He
No, it's
does
because
look
I've made
sad.
him lie down. He's like looking at us as if, like, do I have to?
You're ordering people around a little bit too much lately. You
It's great,
I
isn't
think.
it?
turned into a proper little fucking boss woman.
Well, I am the boss, basically.
So if this is the first time that you found us, like, welcome aboard and all that. So if obviously you probably noticed this stream is probably different than most of the others out there because it's basically like digital adverts. So you might see like Red Roxy or Saucy Peach or a few other people pop up every now and again because they are our sponsors. And it's just a little way of giving back to some of the people who we recognise in the business, mixture of people we've worked with and people whose services we've used. And it's just our little way of being able to talk about whatever we want for 2 hours and at the same time, show people off who we admire people's work and that,
Yeah, pretty much.
The only thing is because you've got to be careful with some of the streaming platforms on we can't show tits because there's probably more tits that we'd probably appreciate.
Yeah.
Like, we could just do an hour's like, oh, they alright, aren't they? And
I think they
Well, I
would
like them.
expect something more dirty,
the
wouldn't
size
they?
of it, areolas, fucking hell and shit like that, you know what I mean? But we can't do that. Well, we can, but they can't see it.
Yeah.
It'd be best if we could like flash it up on the screen, that, but we can't. So yeah, so if you're a company or a web designer or any type of chain, or and you want to advertise on the show, then get in contact dustfilms@gmail.com and inquire about our sponsorship packages. And don't worry, they're fucking quite reasonable.
Aye. Does it have to be like people in the adult industry? Like, could we try and get like Cafe
McDonald's.
Nero or McDonald's? Yeah, something like that. Or like Carlsberg. I know, like
Yeah,
some kind of
yeah.
lager.
And
John Smith, you
John
like that?
Smith, sponsored by John Smith.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's adult, and this is my fucking site. Can take a fucking run and jump if John
Oh,
Smith's
yeah.
fucking sponsor us.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be Welcome to the UK Porn Podcast, sponsored by John Smith.
Exactly.
And I'll mention
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
adult once. Do you know
It's
what I
a
mean?
bit better, don't
No, but the thing is, right? Yes to that question. However,
Yeah.
we're in the porn industry, and
Yeah.
some brands just don't want to be
No.
associated with it.
Can't see it.
So
Yeah.
John
Durex would
Smith's,
do it.
or yeah, aye.
You're
Durex
quite
would
welcome
be
to
quite good.
sponsor us. We
Aye,
don't
I'll tap
mind.
them for some fucking money. That's a good idea. that.
Sante or whatever they're
Aye.
called. Something.
Aye,
Condoms
exactly.
and dildo brands and all them. You know them all. You work at sex
Well,
shop.
yeah.
Contact
We'll
them.
have to not advertise the extra large ones though, because you're in the minority there, Craig. Like, you know what I mean?
Just a bit of that.
No, I've got a beer. I need
Fall
some.
off our cocks and we put one of them on. God, that was a fucking long intro, wasn't it? I haven't even said who I am yet. I'm Paul Taylor, the CEO of Dust Films and creator of Nerd Pervert. Who are you?
I'm Craig.
Yeah.
Nerd
Who are you?
I am James Logan, and I am a performer
Performer of what?
of
Performing arts
music.
of
of
tantras, sex,
porn and just general
Massive-
J.
massive
and
loads.
whatnot.
General
Yeah.
lover.
Pretty much.
the master of getting it up your nose.
Oh, and I'm
.com.
sex shop manager, I suppose.
Sex shop
Add
manager.
that one on me.
Do you reckon that would work as a
Little
niche?
CV.
Upyournose.com, and it's just about people who stick the Japs eye right up as you're about to erupt. And, like,
Maybe.
make them
Well, I
small.
mean, the
Comes
last
out
one
well.
I accidentally got it in our eye as well.
Aye,
I've
do
not
that.
got a very good aim, I don't think,
You
like.
haven't, have you? No.
Screws it.
You only have
Guys,
to aim for the fucking mouth. Are you shit at
uh,
darts as well, eh?
I am.
See.
We've all got our specialties.
Hello, over here.
Hi, who are you again?
Hi.
I'm Scarlet Grey.
forgot
I
was
see,
there.
we're forgetting about you because
Yeah, I'm sat here quietly on the end.
because you're leaving us, so we fucking forgot about you.
Fuck off.
Out of sight, out of mind. Right, so that's the fucking round table. So coming up on today's show, as always, we have more Dick's tips from Dick Salacious. So seriously, I keep saying this every episode, get your notebook out and make notes because it's golden, this stuff. You know what I mean? It's giving you, because it's like he keeps saying, people don't utilise technology in the adult business and it's laughing at you.
Right.
It's like, and it's actually affordable
Wait,
if you don't buy
hey,
things like...
now
what you
I'll
just
actually
bought.
be able to take handwritten notes on me technology
So, there you
because
go.
of the new iPad.
Yeah.
There you
Go
go.
on and tell everyone what type of iPad is it?
It is the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. And Dick Salacious would be absolutely fucking disgusted that I bought it.
Yeah.
Because it cost about 1,200 quid.
He listens to
Yeah.
this live, you know. He'll be
Pencil
calling you a
was like
cunt as we speak while he's listening to
or
this.
something like
Oh
that,
no,
isn't it?
the pencil was 120 quid.
Bloody hell, just
120 quid for a plastic pencil.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
You have to charge it as
the
well.
case was 99 quid as well.
What?
You gotta be
What? So you got all the accessories at the same time?
Yeah.
Is it magic pen or what?
Bloody
The
hell.
thing is, as well, I had bought all of them for the 11-inch one, but
Oh.
I couldn't wait to go and see it in the morning because it was getting delivered at like 5. So
Well,
I
at
went
night?
to the shop. Yeah, 5 at
You're
night.
like a little fucking girl.
Aye,
and you're
so
pissing your
at
pants
9 o'clock in
because
the
you were
morning,
fucking
I went to the
excited.
shop, and as soon as I got there, I saw the 11-inch beside the 12.9-inch, and I was
You
just
cancelled your order.
devastated.
You got the big one instead.
I bought the big one straight away, so I had to buy a new pencil, I had to buy a new case. The 12.9-inch case is 15 extra quid. That's ridiculous. And then obviously the iPad was more expensive because it was bigger.
So what about the other one that you'd ordered that was meant to come at 5? What you do?
Oh, you
tell
probably
me
thought
about
that just
yeah,
in
nah.
the fucking toilet. No,
No,
no.
it
When he's
eventually
having a shit.
came, and then I took it back to the shop. See, Apple's got really good returns policy. Just went
If you-
straight in, and then they just put it
buy
all
something
straight
better,
back on
they
my
will.
card.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have even opened it though, would you?
Yeah, no, I hadn't
So I
opened them.
suppose that's a
But
point.
they,
Money.
they have like a kind of, I think it's 2 weeks. Like you can open it, you can use it, and you just take it back, like no questions asked.
Right, so they
they
take
return.
it back. They've got a good returns policy, right?
Yeah.
Can you do what a lot of people seem to do on Twitter and do come tributes where you can spunk on the fucking iPad,
Hey,
and
do
give
you
it
know
back
what?
with the crust on? Would they expect like would they take it back
Nah,
then?
I don't think they'd take it back with the crust
Wash it
on,
off.
and these new iPads aren't actually waterproof, so.
I mean, not.
Nah.
So you could fuck the touch sensitivity on your iPad if you fucking drop the cum load on it.
Yeah, potentially like.
How would you even give a fucking iPad up the nose? Is that possible? Would you have
I
to get it
don't
in the
think
grid
that's
holes if
possible.
you were doing it?
Yeah.
You ever spunked on an iPad before?
I've not intentionally spunked on an
But
iPad.
you've caught it
But
by
you
mistake.
have called it.
I've caught some electronics. Like if, you know, who hasn't had
Who
a
hasn't?
wank whilst, you know, watching porn on the phone? You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just gonna dribble on your phone.
This cunt does it on set when there's a fucking open, fucking someone with the legs open and he's like, and then he sticks his fucking cock up and it's like, why don't you just watch us fucking it?
Aye, true. That is a bit
weird, isn't it?
mad. Like.
Why would you want to like see it on a tiny little fucking screen
Yeah.
like this? I'm struggling to fucking read my fucking notes here. Do you know what I mean? So God knows what a fucking gaping hole's gonna be like on it. Does porn look good on it though?
Porn looks fucking brilliant. Because obviously I've already watched some porn now.
So obviously you tested the
Obviously.
nerd pervert scene out
Straight away.
soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Tested it.
Actually, I'm gonna get some raw footage off you because I want to try editing some myself. as well.
Fucking hell.
Take over.
No, you can't release it though, because that's my
I
fucking
know.
baby.
Ah,
Fucking release it, I won't give you
it's
the
practice,
fuck off.
and I like practicing with porn.
Right, there you go. You mean you like practicing?
Interesting to watch.
You like practicing
Basically,
while
I like
watching
watching
yourself
myself.
doing it. On this week, we've got an interview with Selena Secret, a webcam model, adult performer, and everything else under the sun. And you should see a bloody equipment and all. She's got some kit.
Ooh.
So not bad, eh?
Yeah.
What are you fucking
Can
excited about that?
Which
Isn't
one?
it?
Yeah.
I'm getting excited.
Oh, and Scarlet Grey will be delivering us another sex fact, of course.
Of course. I've
So
already
let's
picked
see
it
what
out.
the iPhone app can pick for you this week, eh?
I've already picked it.
Have you?
Uh-huh.
Better not be one we've had before, because it's getting
I
ridiculous
hope
now.
not. But if it is, I'll just skip along to the next one and read the next
Okay.
one.
Right, but let's answer some questions first, shall we? You know what people have been sending in. So just to recap what we said last week is, right, we haven't got a PA. Like some podcast teams have got the presenters,
Yeah.
and they've got someone sat at a laptop just reading fucking questions out. And I can see them now coming in, but you kind of fucking read them while you fucking stream, and it's just confusing, isn't it? So what we do is we just pick them at random through all the different media streams where they've sent them in, and Twitter DMs and Facebook DMs and YouTube messages, and I just pick like random ones. Like obviously random ones I can answer really well,
Yeah.
but you know.
Exactly. Like this way, we can cherry pick them. We can
Well,
cherry
exactly.
pick the best ones.
Show you in the best light as
Yeah.
well.
Well, no, see, no, but it's like show us in the best light. We haven't been like had a question from that weirdo, have we? Since we come
Oh,
back?
the guy that we used to get
He had a regular slot
Yeah.
slot on the
Ooh.
show. That's how
Yeah.
About
he
this.
fucking hated my guts, didn't he?
What was it? Bitch, bastard, cunt.
Yeah, he used to-
and he used to have a string of just like profanities
Random
at
shit.
us. Basically. And we used to read it out and laugh at him, and I think that just got him more angry, and he just kept doing it.
Funny.
Yeah.
No way.
Alright,
It's
so,
It
entertainment,
was
isn't it?
funny.
so I'm calling you
listening-
out if you're listening.
We've
Mr.
missed you.
Well, we just call him Mr. Bitch Bastard Cunt because that's where he starts his fucking.
Yeah, basically.
So if you're there,
We'll probably get a few hundred people doing that now, and we won't know which one was the other guy.
oh shit, someone might imitate him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Thought of that.
Mail, motherfucker.
Right, so this is an email from Daryl Benson in South London. And he says, wow, guys, the 4-year wait was certainly worth it. I loved the show before and used to listen to it all the time going to work. I used to download it, save it to an SD card and play it in the radio on the way to work on a 45-minute round trip to work. However, I can't seem to find you on anywhere other than itsadult.com, and there's delays from when the live show turns into the actual download. Are you planning on adding the show anywhere else in the future, like SoundCloud or iTunes? Well, Daryl, yeah, I must admit I need to get faster at releasing the audio version after we've done the live stream.
Yeah.
You know, like if I had a team and I didn't fucking do everything myself, I'd do it 10 minutes later, you know what I mean?
You love doing it all.
And I do. No one can do it. That's why you have to be fucking careful with the content I give you. But the thing is, no, to be honest with you, right, we could probably put it on SoundCloud. iTunes, we tried before, and we did get listed on it, so we did accept it considering we were a porn podcast and
Yeah.
that. But for some reason, they just like, sometimes it just used to not pull down, so people didn't used to get notifications.
I think you need to look into that a bit more because iTunes is the place where I listen to all of my podcasts.
Right.
And just for ease of use for me.
Yeah. Right, okay.
I couldn't give a toss about anyone
It
else.
definitely sounded as if he went through a lot of the process to be able to listen to us like 4 years ago, getting it onto an SD card.
Well,
and this, that,
nobody.
and
He
the
must.
other.
He must be talking about the ukpornpodcast.co.uk, which hasn't been fucking updated since we fucking started the site. That really needs a rehash because we've got new branding and everything. And you could just download it straight from there, but that's the only way you could get us. Like now we do live stuff. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I am looking at what platforms we can put it on. Because obviously you've got to remember the live show is only for getting traffic to itsadult.com and obviously utilising the streams to get a bigger audience. So we, you know, that's what we're using it for. But it is supposed to be a podcast, and I mean, if you don't watch anything you can see on the screen now, it is a podcast. It's still a
Yeah.
podcast. It's just fucking live coming in your ears. That's all. I fucking love that, mate.
It is kind
Going on a t-shirt. Right, I've got another one from Lovechild74, who says, "Hi guys, I'm just wondering, after 8 years and season 8 almost coming to an end, and I've heard rumours that once you approach season 10 that you're going to end the show. Is that true? If so, how would you end it, and what's the plans going forward?" Well, I don't know where you've heard that from.
I don't know.
No,
Because,
that's a load of bollocks.
Yeah, I mean, we've got no plans to stop it.
No.
In terms of the
Go for it,
future, things are changing because obviously your character's going to become a guest star for 2 seasons and then possibly not pop back at all, or maybe pop up once in a blue moon and stuff.
Mhm.
So you've got to kind of think of Scarlett's role as turning into what Chris and Craig were, and possibly when we shoot a model with, say, like a 2-year gap where it's 2 years since we worked with them, we shoot with them again. That's a returning character, but obviously it's a big gap. And obviously we're changing it more to the vlog style, aren't we?
Yeah.
I quite like how they've asked us if we ever did
How
like
would we
stop the
end
show, how would you end it? I would kill him off.
What, me or?
Yeah.
Fucking
I mean,
bitch.
We
I'll
could kill
kill
him
him
off. Mate,
Well,
If
no.
we were seriously stopping it or something, make it like a big hoo-ha or something
No,
and
no.
kill him off.
If you
We
see,
could work
no,
together
what
to
you
get
do
them
is, what you
Nickel
do is,
them
you
in.
seriously stop it for about fucking 10 years, and then you do a fucking one-off to get with the fucking nostalgia. Fucking Rocky and Rambo's done it, so we can do the cunt as well.
So you wouldn't kill him off?
No, because
What would you do then? For
I
like
don't know. I'm not
the
going to
end?
fucking
Doesn't-
tell them, because if I do
Ah,
that, then
right,
they already
okay.
know in advance. But no, we're not going anywhere. But it's changing in some ways, and then in other ways it's still Nerd Pervert. It's
Yeah.
like in some ways it's still going to be the same.
It's like Nerd Pervert, but better because I'm in it more.
Yeah, basically, exactly.
More nerd.
Yeah, I
More
think his
nerds.
head's just swollen a bit more that he's not going to fit through that door.
Yeah, it's like what it was before, only everyone's going to get a cum shot up the nose.
Yeah.
Basically.
Can it?
You know
Extra
what I mean?
nerd.
That
extra
could just
nerds.
be our new niche.
Yeah.
Come up the nose.
Yeah.
I bet they'd love that.
Lovely.
Yeah. Some of them like it. Some of them look like they fucking choking, like, but it's not intentional.
Wouldn't.
So we're not into like abusing people or anything. It's just
Yeah.
the way it fires out is just you can't control it, can you? Do you know what I mean?
Can it?
It shouldn't be that good at something cocked to make you look like that. should it?
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So
Right,
it's the girls'
and the
fault.
final email, because I would like to read about 3 out, because you know, fucking
Lazy.
yeah, exactly. And this is from Emily. All right, we're not got a second name. I'm sure we had an Emily last week, didn't we?
I
The
don't
same
know.
person. Oh, I don't know.
Every week.
Hey Dusk, great show. Want to ask if you have any plans to shoot any TS girls, or is this not your thing? And where your brand wants to go? I've been a member several times, and last time was quite a while ago, so I was wondering if you have or would consider doing it. Since you're all about being different, I like to watch that stuff, but I'd love to see it pop up on your stuff, and I think it would lend itself well to the nerd brand. I don't know how to answer that, because yes, we have done a TSC. We've done 2. But I don't really want to say that's where we're going, because we. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know,
like,
if it
You're not
suits
going to
the
turn
story,
it into,
we'll do it.
Yeah.
And another thing that you've got to remember is that although the biggest people who watch that type of stuff are straight people who just get kinky and want to watch something extra, it's technically a straight site, even though I don't like giving it labels. And so to totally put too many of that type of thing in,
Change it.
you know, it would change the dynamic, and you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
alienate your fans.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, we have no problem doing it. We have done it, and you know, the stories have always been really well done. I think personally, I mean, especially the first ever time I did it, my character was like questioning his sexuality and everything, but then it just turned out she was getting her own back because he'd burst in on her in the shower,
Yeah.
and she got her own back on him, and she just thought, oh, he's gonna fucking run a mile, and he fucking didn't, because he's a fucking pervert. So it like sort of backfired on her, and there's no limit to his pervertness. You know, and with the model's permission, I said, like, is it alright if I take the mick out of a little bit?
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, no problem. And that same girl, me and you was going to be working with her soon, aren't we?
Yeah, aye.
So
Not too long now.
and you, Craig, you filmed me with me and Mafia. So,
Aye,
you know what I
that's
mean?
fun,
She's like
funny.
a fucking sexual
Funny.
dynamo and stuff. She wants to come back actually, so we'll have to arrange that.
No
You
way.
know what I mean? But I've told her like that you really like TSs, and I think she's going to jump on you first. So you might not have a fucking choice.
Oh,
like.
God.
Yeah.
No choice.
But yeah, but yeah. So basically, we have, and I don't want to say we will again. Well, we are again because we've got one booked in.
Yeah.
But just if it suits the story.
Exactly. That's a great thing with Nerd Pervert. Like, there's so much variety in like all of the people you get on. So
Well, I think as long as the performers work in that area, which I do,
yeah.
again when the time is right, and you want to do a shoot like that, so therefore that's your thing as well, then that's fine. But I think to do it just because someone's wrote in because they want to see more of it, or rather they asking have we done it,
Yeah.
you can't tailor it towards the minority. You've got to go, well, you know, that's not good for the brand, because how many people would actually want more and how many people wouldn't, so you've got to just sort of balance it right, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? But it is kinky as fuck though, mind. Honestly, you fucking enjoy it, like, when you
No
do
way.
it.
We'll see.
Hey guys, I'm Paul Taylor, your everyday nerd. I'm here to tell you about my reality show. I like reading comic books, hanging out with mates, and going to the local pub. But I chat to girls and convince them to get naked and do casting videos for a job that doesn't exist. My camera lady Scarlett Grey just goes along with it to get paid. So go to nerdpervert.com and watch all 8 seasons now. Nerdpervert.com, your very own Nerdflix. So, what's been going on in the wonderful world of the adult industry? I mean, fucking hell, there's never a dull moment, really, is there?
Never
So,
is.
new website, agevertificationregulator.com, was launched recently by the BBFC, and obviously they're the regulator that the government's put in charge of the age verification and policing it and stuff. Still no word on when it's going to come out, other than the first quarter of next year. I reckon it's going to be April. But yeah,
That was when it came
but
out
when
this
you
year, wasn't it?
wouldn't think that was the BBFC website, would you? But agevertificationregulator.com.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it just be the bbfc.co.uk/AV and put it on the same fucking website?
Who knows?
It's fucking weird. So if you look at the website, it's it says the UK government has appointed the BBFC as age verification regulator because their long and proven experience in classifying films, videos, websites, and more, and their knowledge of online regulation. Well, I don't know about that because the online regulation is starting now. So where's the prior knowledge? Because you haven't done it yet, and it's still not in yet. And classifying, R18, which is DVDs, and cinema ratings for obviously mainstream movies, that's not online. So I don't know where they claim that they've got this experience because they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, true.
But whatever. BBFC, you've got to sell yourself, and this is your business, so you're going to make yourself sound good. So I'm not sure why it's taking so long. That's the only thing that's bugging me. And was it the UK government that was stalling, or was it the BBFC was stalling because they weren't ready to put in place whatever they were going to do, or however they're going to regulate it? Just wasn't ready. It's hard to tell really because we haven't been told why there was a delay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
No.
the website tells you who it's going to affect, right? So it gives you, like everybody, in terms of any adults want to access porn, won't have to worry about the children seeing it. And I'm just thinking, yeah, but you do because the only governing commercial porn. So if you haven't got, I'm not being funny, right? I'm gonna sound like a fucking conspiracy theorist, but the government is doing the jobs for the parents when the parents should be doing that by default. You can install a lot of software that some ISPs give away for free to stop your kids seeing anything violent, not just porn. And I don't know why the decision was made to do it for them. Do some fucking parenting, do you know what I mean? You should always know what your kids are doing online. So to say that they can rest easy because the children won't be able to access it, that's not true. Because the porn sites, the free ones, aren't going to be regulated according to certain online sources. And then obviously they've got a tagline, of course, with a statistic.
Alright. Go on.
62% of children first see pornography by accident. Age verification can stop that happening. Well, nobody see it by accident because the fucking free porn's all over the place.
Yeah.
That's why they see it by accident.
So click in Google and say like tits or something or whatever.
It's like
would
Search
come
for
up, wouldn't
pussy,
it?
pussycat or whatever, and it comes up with big fucking funny.
Now, we do stress that once adults prove that they're 18 or over, it's just confirmation of their age, and they don't need any personal information, and none of it's kept on a server, which I bet the government said, whoever we fucking pick, they're going to have to not store data because obviously GDPR laws come in, and that's contradicting even age verification. So all they need is to be able to check, and then once you're okayed, it lets go of that information. It doesn't store it in a database or anything, it just deletes it. It's a bit like when you fucking go to a mobile phone.
But that means
Sure.
you'll have to do it every time though, won't you?
Possibly.
Because it won't be saving your data, so it means that it can't
You should get a
refer
login.
back to one that you've previously done. So like every time you want to log in, you'll have to probably do it
Not
again
get a
and
login,
again,
though.
maybe.
That's a good point though.
Oh.
Because let's just say there was 6 or 7 age verification regulators, right, approved by the government, assuming they're going to tell us which of the approved ones are, right? Because I could set my own age verification company up, because I could get fucking WebStream to fucking code it, because they're like wizards in there, aren't they? Right, so I could do that. But if the government say, oh, I'm sorry, that's got a plot hole, that's not secure enough, we don't authorise this as being an official one. So they're going to have to give us like some pointers and saying, well, these are the best ones. But you've raised a good point there, right? You said they won't be able to store data, which means you'll have to do it each time. Before the GDPR law came in, because that's only been the beginning of this year, and the age verification's been 2 years in the process, possibly 3 now. Before the GDPR thing saying that you can't keep records, or you can only keep them for as long as you need them, and they saying they're not going to store personal data, before the GDPR law came out, they said that if you decide to age verify on a site, and let's just say it's Age ID, right, which is one of them, right, and then you go on another site and it's Age ID, before they said you don't have to keep age verifying because another site you visit is using the same age verification company that's already verified you. But then if you go to another site and you've age checked once and the last 3 sites you were a member of was the same age verification software, so it knows you're already 18. But then you go to another one, they use another one, you would have to age verify again. So you're right, they can't be keeping it on record anymore because the
Unless
other
you
law
give,
contradicts it.
Unless you basically authorise them to, saying that they could keep it.
Well, that's what GDPR is all about. You give them
Yeah,
permission.
exactly.
But the point is, you're still going to, even if you get permission to make it quicker so you can get your pants down quicker, so you don't, oh, for fuck's sake, where's
Don't
my
wanna
fucking
do this every
passport
time.
number? You know what I mean? Every time, you fucking dick will have gone down by the time you go in. And that's a thing that a lot of people are worrying about because obviously, I mean, is it going to be good for, like, us to make more money or is it going to be bad? Like, James, your sex shop, right, for instance, right? So, you didn't work in a sex shop when the R18 certificate came in, it was already
I did not know, yeah.
and that's obviously for classifying porn and legally selling it in a sex shop. So, do you think the free porn out there has affected DVD sales? I know what the answer is, but you
It
work in a
definitely
shop.
has.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, working in these shops, it's one of them things where we can never, it's really hard to like know who's coming in, when they're going to come in to get the porn. Like, I don't know, like the people who are out there who watch like free porn on the internet aren't necessarily the people we would have ever gotten in our shop anyway, because we're almost serving like a different type of customer.
We don't serve freeloaders in here. Fuck off.
It's just like, I don't know, like we don't have a lot of tech savvy people who come in to the sex shops. Unless they're buying something that isn't porn and they're buying like toys and stuff like that. So the people who do buy porn generally are like kind of your older male demographic who generally just aren't all that up to this kind of stuff.
You're a wanger.
Ah, yeah.
So how would that affect your like porn habits though? Like if you weren't working for us, right?
Yeah.
And you were just like, you know, an everyday punter, what would you think? Because a lot of the public still don't know about this. The BBC's reported on it, so it is out there, but a lot of people are going to expect their surfing to be exactly the same. And one day it'll just, you know, you'll go to Nerd Pervert and it'll go, are you fucking over 18? Well, I'm fucking hoping they do. I'm fucking sick of arguing about them with it.
Yeah.
So what would you do if you went to one site and yesterday you could just access it straight away and today you couldn't? Would that say, fuck this, or would you put up with it, do you think?
Be good, but I think I'd put up with it. Obviously, if you want to have a wank, you'd fucking do whatever it takes, wouldn't you, to get onto it? But
I think it depends on your kink though. Like if you could get it for free, you'll just say fuck this, I'm off to Pornhub. But if it was something where you go, no, I like paying for the crispness of it. You know, I know the site doesn't got any viruses. It's in 4K. You know, I mean, do you sell 4K porn?
Let's do it, Alex.
The reason why is because that form of porn has died off. Like DVDs are struggling, so we're not going to bring out a new format if the previous format.
It's not even that. Like the reason we don't stock 4K porn is because not a lot of people have a way to play 4K porn. It's the exact same reason why we don't stock Blu-rays because our customers, a lot of them, don't have a Blu-ray player. They are like a little bit old-fashioned. And most of them have access to DVD players. I still get customers coming in asking where the VHS is.
Do you?
Yeah. And I'm like, sorry mate, we've not had them for about 10 years.
Yeah, but like I mean, you can just picture the fucking age, can't you, in your head? It's gonna ask things like that. You know what I mean? It's like you shouldn't be fucking wanking at your age. It'll be as wrinkly as a fucking raisin. Do you know what I mean? Get out my shop.
Hey, do you know what? Like, I'm pleased when I get some like really old customers in because I'm like, oh god, like I hope I'm like that shit when I'm older.
Yeah. There's one thing I know about you. You'll still be fucking like that, don't you worry.
They bought one because it had you in it.
I'll tell you what, like I've definitely sold a fair few Nerd Pervert DVDs when I've mentioned I work with Nerd Pervert, but I don't tell them I'm not in them DVDs.
And I was going to say, and then,
still want to
and then they'll be thinking you're fucking lying just to sell a DVD, won't they? Because they'll have no idea.
And that's when I refer them to Twitter.
I'll tell you what, right? What, are you allowed to do this? If I give you loads of fucking flyers just to the website, you're allowed to give one out for free, or would you go slap off fucking
we're not allowed to promote
anything under
like,
your label.
Well, basically, I'm not allowed to promote your stuff. I could promote your DVDs.
Yes, because they're in the shop.
Yeah, because they're in the shop and they're like rated by the BBFC.
Have they already taught you this? Like, now you're in
Yeah.
their mind.
Yeah.
Don't be fucking giving them any
Exactly.
fucking.
But I can't.
Free stuff.
I can't do your website because it's not
Okay.
like rated
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anything like that. So
And they're not getting any money from it. Either.
yeah,
That's
That's fair
basically
enough.
why.
That's fair enough.
but that's just like a promotion type thing. Like I can't promote it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And the final bit on this is that they say what they've got the power to do, right? So basically, they're basically saying that their powers include requesting service providers to withdraw services such as advertising, asking payment service providers to withdraw services, and requiring internet service providers and mobile network operators to block access to non-compliant sites. So there's no mention of a fine yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to just say, well, fucking
Block it
hell,
off.
you know, a block is going to be punishment enough.
Mm.
So this is why I'm arguing with my American partners over it. I'm basically trying to say to them, just go through the fucking cable, dog. God knows what that sounds like. But I'm trying to say to them, no, you told me that the amount of people who watch from the UK has gone up a hell of a lot in the last 3 or 4 seasons.
No.
So you can't stand to lose that traffic, and I don't want to fucking lose that traffic. So you're going to have to detect someone coming in from the UK, and
Yeah.
they have to get hit with the
Yeah,
age
okay.
verification fucking login
Yeah.
screen. The rest of the fucking world, unless it goes global, which it might do. I mean, a lot of countries are watching us at the minute, you know, to see what happens.
How it goes.
And that might be the norm in the future. But it's like I've said before, though, right? It's doom and gloom at the minute. It's a bit like Brexit. You don't know if it's going to be good or bad yet. However, think about it like this. There's a whole generation of people at the minute don't even remember paying for a website because it's always been free. When I first started out, everyone used to pay. That was their little cheeky fucking treat to themselves, $15.99 a month for a fucking porn site that they would cancel instantly so we don't forget, so it rebuilds
Next
them.
month, yeah.
But they would just watch it for the whole month. It doesn't cancel your membership. It just doesn't renew at the end of the period. So if you fast forward to when age verification's been in for 15, 16 years, and all those people at day one that was 18 or over who can access the commercial stuff because they can prove that the over 18 using the age verification system, would it ever flip back to where all they can remember is paying for it and having the age verified to see it? I mean, that'll be interesting. Pity we haven't got a time machine just to see how
it is
that
fitting.
is. But yeah, totally oblivious to the fucking recording, aren't you?
I was just
Yeah.
thinking as well, like with the age 35, if you've got any tech savvy kids, they just and a lot of adults just go for a proxy, wouldn't they?
Oh, they'll fucking know about that.
And then you wouldn't even need
Well,
to do
get
anything.
this, MindGeek said they were bringing out their own fucking VPN.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
God.
so you're bringing out, so you've ripped the industry off, and you've still got fucking stuff on there that shouldn't be
Yeah.
on there, and people send you DMCA notices left, right, and centre,
Make more
and
money.
then you're bringing out your age check ID to further cash in
Yeah.
on the fucking business, and then you fucking you're bringing out your own VPN so they can get away with it.
Yeah, and buy that off them as well.
I mean,
Fucking
they
hell,
sound like they're absolute fucking geniuses.
look where they are.
To be fair.
They got the finger in, getting around it,
Yeah.
complying, and fucking giving away for free.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they won't get caught in the fucking age fucking checks.
No.
I mean, that's fucking genius, that.
Yeah.
I don't like it because I'm in the fucking business, but that is fucking genius. And you know what you've got to keep telling yourself? It's nothing personal. They haven't said, no, fucking cunt, Taylor. Right, and fucking piss his nerd fans off and fucking giving his stuff away for nothing. It's not fucking personal, it's business. And this is why I've got a new lease on life at, you know, not doing things at the request of others if it doesn't suit my business.
No.
Hence why we're talking now. Do you know what I mean? It's like if it conflicts with somebody else,
True.
it's not intentional. It's just literally business. And I've really, really researched this, and the fact that we sat here talking now means that we're going to get the biggest boost in traffic based on any other time today
Yeah.
and based on any other day of the fucking week. And if we did this tomorrow night, the fucking traffic would dip. And I've got a bit of software that I've fucking invested in and the hardware to track when is the best time to do this. I didn't just decide to air on Monday night and hope for the best. I knew it was going to
Yeah.
have a certain amount of success. And obviously I'm really interesting to listen to, so you want to fucking win it. Do you know what I mean? That sounds really convincing.
Yeah, it
Cheers.
did, didn't it? We're just laughing at you, yeah.
Debatable.
Oh, and the final point, that wasn't the final point. The final point on this, because it is a long discussion, they've got a report button on the site.
All right.
Oh, God.
So if you're a fucking everyday person or a cunt in the business who just thinks you can wipe all the competition out by reporting them,
Yeah.
which, you know, someone you've been into contact with recently was doing it when that photo was going around, apparently.
All right.
Don't know if it was true,
Yeah.
but it was a whole divide and conquer method. So if there's a report button and there's that many shit stirrers, right,
Yeah.
that if a model falls out with a company because she doesn't like the way, because they didn't fucking cover the spot up that she had on a fucking chain, she could report the fucking site
I
because
definitely can see that being abused with some of the people in this industry. Like,
if a member of the public really goes, oh fuck, I thought that was supposed to have a checker, I'm going to let them know.
no.
It's annoying if it's your site, but at least they are being responsible and thinking of minors.
Yeah.
But porn companies doing it, I can see that being a fucking, that's going to be like Trump pressing the fucking button, launching the fucking torpedo, isn't it? He's itching to fucking do it. Now, isn't he, with fucking North Korea and shit. So, like, you know, that's that, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you fucker, he's more popular than me. Fill the form in and that. Click on the report button. No, what's the website name? Fucking cunt. And reason for, because he's fucking taking payments. You know what I mean? You can see it happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely see it happening. And now, we need to fucking have a rest. My fucking jaw's aching after that fucker.
I bet.
We need to get some technology tips of Mr. Dick Salacious.
Get in.
So let's see what he's going to fucking say.
Welcome to Dick's Tips from salaciouscreations.com. I was going to say proudly sponsored by Selena Secret, but he really does know his shit. You'll see.
Right, Dick's Tips with Dick Salacious, and hopefully is at the other end of the line. Are you there, Dick?
Yeah, I'm here, bud. I'm nice and stiff tonight, like, as well, so,
Why, what have you been doing?
loads of video editing, mate, and I think that should be the topic of tonight's show.
Ah, I see what you've done there. So you've got a stiff wrist off clicking the mouse for hours and hours, is it?
Yeah, there's only one way to relax after that, mate, and just go get the jar of honey out for me now.
Right, well, that is probably a good topic because we've covered, like, obviously, you know, affordable PC builds and data and stuff like that in previous podcasts. So obviously the next step, if you are wanting to create your own content, is, you know, possibly learn to do it yourself. But how would anyone go about that, though? And, like, is it very, very daunting? Because obviously, someone who doesn't know about video editing, is it something you can pick up really easily if you know nothing about it?
Well, here's the thing, right? Yes and no. There is no technical right answer to this because, as everybody who's edited anything knows, that there is no perfect solution, okay?
Yeah.
So typically at the moment, we're seeing a lot of girls saying, I've just edited a clip now. They post a bit of it to Twitter, and I'm not being funny, it looks like a fucking dog shatting out its ass.
Yes, because it's been done Windows Movie Maker, that good old piece of software that Windows loves flogging a dead horse over.
But don't worry, Mac users, we haven't forgotten about you and your little iMovie.
I'll tell you what, iMovie is actually better than Windows Movie Maker. It actually looks like someone's actually edited something instead of just done a clip montage with that fucking blue screen and white text as a title. Ugh.
Oh, well. Really? They haven't got any of the transparency effects in there? Oh, right.
No.
Well, tonight's episode might just be to help you get a little bit of better quality. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to pay 20 quid for a pile of dog shit now, are they?
No. Well, sometimes the reason why the clips are 20 quid is because of the bit rates and shit being too high because people don't know what they're doing.
Well, I'm not going to cover some secret settings that we happen to know about on that. But again, that's going to require some sort of investment PC-wise. So if we start, first of all, like everybody's favourite, Windows Movie Maker. So, yes, you can put a movie together. No, you can't do it with any sort of panache. So is it okay just to have a quick go? Yes, there's nothing wrong with it. However, the quality that it's going to output is going to be night and day compared to something that's a little bit more advanced, okay? So upgrading yourselves from that, okay, you've got a program called OpenShot, which is free, but it's still very, very simple to use.
And that's how you started out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I started out using OpenShot. I've progressed a little bit since then, like, not much. Maybe 5-10%, like, you know.
What, you doing fucking text in 3D space? I would say that's a hell of a fucking step up the ladder, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I have the horsepower because I have the technology. We have the technology. We can rebuild you. So For people who have a very low end system, Windows Movie Maker is a great option just to get started.
Mm.
However, if you want to actually start learning a bit more about blending your clips in, that sort of thing, then obviously OpenShot is a bit more of a progression on there, because OpenShot can integrate into Blender and it can do some 3D artwork for your text. You can animate your text. So overall, to get some experience of using timelines, because that can be really daunting. I mean, fucking hell, I look at some timelines sometimes and I can't even see them anymore. Yeah, I like to call that quake eye from playing computer games for fucking too long. If I've been sat in front of the computer for 12 hours editing one scene, my fucking eyes start fucking going like.
Sometimes I've had scenes I've been editing, they've had like fucking 7 or 8 video tracks of just layers upon layers of video over the top of each other. It's mental.
Yeah, so with something like OpenShot, okay, it'll allow you to do a more advanced edit, okay, where you can put a few like blending in shots, you can add a bit of text to it. It's got a nice little 3D tool added to it. You can use all your different fonts. It can do a lot more than what Windows Movie Maker can't, okay?
Yeah.
So it's a good step up in the sense that it gets you used to working with timelines rather than Windows Movie Maker, because I think it fucking does it like images.
All right, okay.
Yeah, it's not like a proper fucking full-on fucking timeline, or it might even be like that these days. But yeah, it's not the best way to learn a timeline, I think.
No, definitely not.
Then moving over from that, okay, if you feel like you've advanced a little bit more from that, this is where things now start to get tribal.
Right.
As in, you get people who are very fucking defensive because like they got ginger pubes, and then you got somebody who's really defensive because they got blonde pubes. Video editing is exactly the same fucking thing when you move away from the low-end editors into the higher-end editors, okay? It's like this bastard I'm talking to right here. I'm an Adobe fan.
Right.
Right, I'm a DaVinci Resolve fan, okay? But then I think you've got Sony Vegas as well. It's classed as a high-end editor.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got the piece de la resistance that Hollywood uses, which is Avid.
Yeah, and then Final Cut Pro, even though we're not Mac users, a lot of editors do use that.
Yeah. It's the investment buy-in. I'd leave out Final Cut Pro because of the buy-in value of it. I mean, a £15,000 machine isn't a joke, is it?
No, definitely not.
I mean, that's a bit too much. I know, like we were saying on a previous episode, that you can now buy like a 60-core thread processor for £1,500. And to a lot of people, that sounds expensive. Well, for the Final Cut Pro, to get the best out of it, you're going to be looking at a 15 grand buy-in, okay? So this is a whole other spectrum, which is why if you got the money for that, best of luck to you.
Or if you didn't want to pay as much money, Apple's just brought out an updated version of the Mac Mini that is, it's a 6-core little mini PC. It takes up to 64 gig of RAM, and you can get up to a 4 terabyte hard drive. 8 grand.
Fucking 8 grand. I could fucking build that for fucking one.
That computer that you talked about many episodes ago on your first little PC, I've got one of them under my telly, and it still shits all over the Mac Mini, and it cost us, I would say, with the graphics card and the RAM and the PC, 450 quid.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking 8 grand. I mean, you gotta have more fucking money than sense, like, innit? So that's to put it into perspective, okay? So if you're a Mac user and you have the money, feel free, indulge yourself. I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
By all means. But, if you're more like me, who likes a bit of fucking bang for my fucking buck, and, I'm not going to fucking spend that because I can build something better than that for £1,000,
Well, you've got to ask yourself one question, right? Would you rather still have a powerful computer at a cheaper price and still be able to go out for a pint? Or would you rather buy a 15K iMac Pro and never see your fucking mates again?
Ah, see, I thought it was the porn podcast. Would you rather spend money, have a powerful PC, still being able to snort coke off a hooker's hip while doing fucking methamphetamine while riding a fucking donkey around the fucking room, right? Or would you rather have no life in a fucking iMac fucking Pro, like?
Yeah.
That's how that fucking shit works, like.
Yeah,
I know what I would pick.
Yeah, and if there's any journalists listening, we're not really like that, even though you say we are.
I know. I just like to fucking troll them a little bit, like, because, the way they fucking portray us, eh?
I know, it's fucking disgraceful.
Anyway, because you don't know much about it, I'm going to stick with a bit of DaVinci Resolve for a bit now.
Right.
So currently, you pay, what, £50 a month subscription?
Yep.
Now, DaVinci Resolve you can get completely free. However, it does require a good amount. It does require a good, strong processor. It does require a good, strong amount of RAM. say 16 gig upwards. I would not use it under 16 gig. Okay, it does require good hard drives that are quick. Okay, so you're not getting in at a shit level. So all in all, you're looking at around about, if we went down that route that you've gone down, it would run perfectly well on the machine that you got. Okay, so 450 quid, say, buy-in. This is to produce your own content now at studio quality. You can do everything you can do in Adobe Premiere free of charge, including all the After Effects add-ons, all the sound add-ons, all the coloring add-ons, and you get a nice little render queue so you can leave shit running overnight. Okay?
I mean, that's interesting because obviously there is some features turned off in DaVinci Resolve and most people will never hit on them, and no offense, but because I'm in porn, but especially people in the adult industry, they will not hit on the features that were turned off at where you have to buy the full version. But Adobe weren't the first company to adopt the subscription model. That came in for Adobe and many other pieces of software because of the hacking and the downloading and the torrents and them losing out on money. But for some reason, DaVinci Resolve was like, well, we'll just give it away for free then, and then we're not losing anything.
No, exactly. And the advantage for that for them is if people learn that, it's like the Hollywood film The Martian was edited all in DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
You know, it can do Hollywood quality, but again, it's completely free. And if you do run into a limitation, which I actually haven't yet, which is why I'm a cheap bastard and haven't spent the 300 quid, but I am going to, I do promise, if anybody from Blackmagic Design fucking listens to this, I fully intend to, it's just I need to get it fucking working how I want it to work across multiple computers.
Yeah.
So I got like a conveyor belt system then of different PCs doing different tasks for me. But you can do full 3D animation. I mean, you can put an image up there and have a logo behind a glass mirror that's all fogged up with a font that's animated. It actually makes it look like you're writing your name in a mist on a window from behind the window.
I don't know.
So, you know.
Well, that's proper mapping an environment. That's like track shotting and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, they got tools that make it really easy in there now. That's the sort of level that you can go to. I'm not saying that we should be going to that level in porn, but it's nice to know you do have those sort of options because you can add a fair bit of style to your porn. I'm assuming that Adobe would be easier because obviously you're paying for the convenience of the easiness. You're paying for a lot of experience there, whereas DaVinci Resolve was a coloring tool that's then become an editor.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is how a free piece of software and a company that was just a colorist specialist. I mean, people were editing in Adobe Premiere and coloring in DaVinci Resolve. That's what it was for when it was first released. How can they? What have they done, or who have they hired to make that more optimized compared to Adobe Premiere, which me and you have found recently when you've been offering me your technical assistance with your company, Salacious Creations? We've discovered bugs in Adobe Premiere, haven't we?
Yeah, unfortunately, well, from reading up on it, when we've obviously been researching what the problems are to try and solve the problems, obviously a lot of people are having the same sort of problems, and like there's no actual fixes to it. People are raising these issues, and these issues have been around for years. Unfortunately, it can be a bit of pot luck that your installer Windows it just doesn't like, which is a bit unfair, really. When I mean, my little server downstairs. So I have one of those small form factors. I did a stream recently of fitting a new hard drive in there for people to have a quick look to see how easy that shit actually is. That thing renders out 1080p, 60 frames a second for less than a minute of footage.
Well, I'm starting to think it is my main works machine because me 6-core laptop doesn't do it. My 8-core form factor PC under the TV doesn't do it, but my main one does. So I think you might be right. I think we're starting to get close to a solution, which is it's either we need to wipe Adobe completely with the Adobe Cleaner and start again after I've backed up my presets, or do a clean install of Windows.
Yeah, exactly. And this is it. It's like if a 10-year-old PC I don't give a fuck about, like, that is probably got more fucking hair on it than I have around my fucking balls. Definitely your balls, like you fucking shave them like fucking...
Every day to stop the itch.
Like Clint Eastwood's fucking face.
Get off my lawn.
I used to pile you up like fucking body bags. But no, it is. It's a very good program. I would encourage people to have a look at it. Again, YouTube support is phenomenal on this, but you've actually got Hollywood editors who have their own channels on it. There's actually more channels now for DaVinci Resolve because of how accessible it is in how powerful this tool is, and the fact it's completely free puts you into the realm of that. So if you do download it, you're going to see these amazing fucking technical looking things like fucking mixing desks that cost £500,000 and all that. They're not aimed at you. Just to put that out there, okay? I think that's how DaVinci Resolve are making their money, is they're selling high-end hardware to Hollywood, like 192 channel mixing boards in special fucking graphics cards and all that you don't need. So as long as you have an actual graphics card, okay, so if you have a laptop and it says GTX on there, chances are your laptop has a graphics card. If you don't have a graphics card on your laptop, then you're a little bit shit out of luck unless you have a really solid laptop, like a 6700 HQ that you can get on eBay right now for around about 450 to 500 quid second hand. Okay, so that's a nice strong processor that can actually handle that sort of work. If you do have if you want a graphics card, obviously you've got a choice between a 1050 Ti, which would be my preference, okay, because it's nice and cheap, it's got 4 gig, and it's a very quick card, and it fits in those small PCs, or maybe up to, say, a 1070. Anything above that, you're going to get a diminished return on DaVinci, all right? So I'm not suggesting you go out and spend a fucking £1,000 on a fucking graphics card. 100 quid is nice and accessible.
See,
right?
but I've watched tutorials on DaVinci Resolve, and I am tempted to move over, but you've got to realise, like, I've made my name and my career in Adobe Premiere, and I can just, it's making that jump, but I don't like databases. Now, a lot of people have said that DaVinci Resolve looks like a hybrid of Adobe Premiere and Final Cut Pro, and a lot of people are saying that. Now, I can't comment because I've never used Final Cut Pro, but it does use the database system that Final Cut Pro uses.
Yeah, but it's a well-established SQL database. So all a SQL database is a bunch of tables. So going into the realm of what I do day to day now, but for example, you give me a couple of Windows Notepad files, I can link that up to a database, and I can actually use those Notepad files as a database table. I know what people mean when they got the worry about it, okay? Because if that database goes corrupt, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Okay. However, the nodes on that database, they're written to a hard drive, which you can back up on Google Drive free of charge. So you have a backup solution straight away, just out, offsite, the whole lot.
And if you were editing, say, 4 or 5 years in a DaVinci Resolve, how big would that database file be? Would it just be kilobytes?
Oh, it's about, my database is about 300 megabyte, and I've got about 100 movies I've edited in there now.
Right. Okay. And obviously that always just keeps adding to the same database.
No, it treats it separate tables. So if one table went corrupt, the other tables wouldn't.
So if I was to edit a scene of Sarah Jane, and then I render it out, obviously I know you can have different sequences and have different versions. So I could do what I do in Premiere, where I could have, the full scene, make a copy of it, cut it down into a trailer, make another timeline sequence of the full scene and cut it down and make a tube clip for promotion, right?
Yeah.
And then I do another one exactly the same. Does that next girl, who might be Devon Breeze, get added to the same database that Sarah Jane's in?
Well, sort of, yes and no. So the reference is in the same database table that tells DaVinci where those files are kept.
Right.
So it's sort of like the hybrid, as you said before, it's like a hybrid between the two. So the database bit just works as the linker to where those projects are stored.
Right.
Okay, so it's not like everything's all in one table and like if it goes, then you're all fucked. It's not like that. In SQL, it's a SQL database, so it is actually a proper established database. SQL is SQL for the uninitiated who don't know fuck all about SQL. I'm not going to bore the fuck out of you with that shit, so don't worry. But no, I found it very reliable. I've done disaster recovery tests on it, so I use a USB free pen in all of my computers. It's all mapped to the same Google Drive, so it means I can turn any computer on in my house. I can open up DaVinci Resolve, and that database is automatically connected to it, and it's got all the file associations that are sitting on the network and everything, so I can use it at multiple PCs at multiple times, and all the saves are always written to Google Drive. So Google Drive is actually powering my video editing.
So like in Premiere, where I might have a folder with camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and I import them all into Premiere. it's not really important the videos. The software has got that many codecs and that many drivers for different video files that Premiere pretty much can edit any video file type that you add to it. So I know that if I move that video file from, say, Camera 1 folder and move it, it'll go missing from Premiere. Is that the same in DaVinci Resolve?
Yes, we're always going to get that. Any editor is going to get that. So if Windows Movie Maker, if you save your project, then you move all your files, then when you open that project again, any editor is not going to find that, okay?
So it seems like anybody who's bought out any type of video editing software has never tried to get around that. It's just an acceptance that it links to the files based on the location in your timeline. And the only thing that the software saves a copy of is color grading layers, wipes, music cuts, fades and stuff like that. All that remains on the timeline when it can't find the video, and it's just the video that it links to that needs a reference to before you do your final render. So that's pretty much across the board.
Yeah, that's every single one. It's like having a shortcut on your desktop, then I delete the program but leave the shortcut there. You double click the shortcut doesn't work. That's all computers, that's Mac, that's Linux, and that's also Windows as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so as long as you've always got a central location to work from, which is what we've been stressing to you all over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so you work from your central location on your network, and then you can use any PC in the house, on your phone even, to access your pictures, your files. You can carry on editing on multiple PCs. And best of all, it's all free of charge.
That is hard to believe. I'm actually still quite impressed with that myself, though, with everything you've said, and you said it at the beginning before you started talking about the software. But let's repeat that. It is free.
Yeah, it's completely free. It does require a little bit of oomph from your PC. You'll get the best results, as I said, with multiple cores, good 16 gig of RAM, and a graphics card. But if you haven't got that and you're using a £200 laptop, then we've been talking all about this. This stuff isn't for you. Stick to Windows Movie Maker. Stick to fucking shit, because at the end of the day, there's a whole other world out there that you're not ready for.
So, in other words, you can't install DaVinci Resolve on a Mr. Spell.
Yeah, I could just imagine people trying as well.
Yeah.
Fucking a 30 quid Raspberry fucking Pi and it won't run fucking DaVinci.
So how does it work with optimized media in terms of I always prefer, doesn't matter how powerful my PC is, I don't want to lock it up completely even if it has got the power. So dropping a 4K video file in there, I always like to create proxy files so the software thinks I'm editing in HD, and then you just turn it off when you go for a render should you want to output that to 4K. And obviously if you don't, you're really technically making your HD 2K when it's better than everybody else's HD anyway. But does DaVinci Resolve do that the same? Does it create optimized media?
Yeah, we have optimized media. So we have a hard drive, typically an SSD, that we write our optimized media to. So that basically means it recombines all of your files. It makes them as efficient as possible for your editing, okay? But then we also have a proxy mode as well. Because it's very graphics card dependent, a click of a button and no more generating stuff, we can actually alter what we're actually editing in, a half resolution, a quarter resolution, depending on how busy the timeline is. So you are getting professional features for nothing.
See, that's weird, that, because obviously I have to really basically re-render a version of the files that I'm editing in my timeline in HD, and it swaps them out with a click of a button. It like sort of relinks the lower grade files you've created so you can have a smoother editing experience. It swaps them out as quick as it actually links to the original files in the timeline, i.e. the in your timeline, but they're still in the original location of before you imported the files. That's what the proxies do. You create a proxy file folder within that same directory and you put them in there so it knows where to reference the files.
The proxy in DaVinci Resolve is instant.
Right.
I mean, I haven't got a computer as good as yours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like a stormtrooper either, does it?
No, exactly. Mine's more like a fucking cube, but I got a nice big water cooler in mine and about fucking 17 fans. I'm amazed you can't fucking hear it. But my point is it's very accessible. It's free. So the money that you're saving on that, you may as well obviously put into your business, because again, we've touched upon this before. Porn is the only multi-million-pound industry that you can get into for less than £1,000.
Yeah.
You phone up McDonald's and ask them, can you have a franchise for £1,000? They'll fucking laugh at you. Okay, so in fact, we'll do that in a future episode about some lighting.
Yeah.
We'll cover lighting in a future episode because, yeah, we've got some good deals on some fucking lights now and fucking shit like that. So that's worth covering later on. But just to keep on track, have a look. Go to Blackmagic Design, right? Blackmagic Media Design, I think it's called, and download DaVinci Resolve 15 and have a play around. If you're already used to timelines, you might be pleasantly impressed. If your content's not selling and the £50 a month that you're paying to Adobe is starting to grind away at you, yet you know all the shortcuts, give it a try because you can actually set it to use Adobe shortcuts. Now, I wouldn't know any different because I've never used Adobe. I just fucking, every time I see this bastard, he keeps fucking saying, oh, look at this, look at this. It's like, oh, I've been able to do that for years, Paul, in fucking DaVinci Resolve.
No, I must admit, I think it's the other way around. You're telling lies there. You telling me about things I've been doing for years that DaVinci Resolve
Yeah, I know.
does. But yeah,
Fucking right.
But no, I must admit, you know, like you say, it's a matter of opinion, and a professional editor to another professional editor, if he's on a totally different platform, you'll never ever agree or see eye to eye. I'm just pleased that you made the jump because I knew you before you did. I never still stop learning things about Premiere. It's usually a creative style or an effect that you're after, and then you just hit on it in Premiere and it's already there, and you just think, this is amazing, like how you can still be wowed by your editor of choice even 17 years in.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope people have got some valuable tips out of this because, yes, you can pay for an editor. How much is Sony? Any idea how much Sony Vegas is?
I think it's about £300. I think.
Well, so to buy DaVinci license is £300 to unlock like really advanced Hollywood features.
And it's not,
like
it's not even called Sony Vegas anymore. It's just called Vegas Pro because it was bought out.
Yeah. But you got to give Sony that. Kudos to them. They made an actual video editor that requires a graphics card.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, you got to give Sony kudos to that. Like, and they stuck with it as well. You know, Sony ain't that bad, really.
Well,
I know they make shit.
They make
shit off cameras.
Yeah,
still just.
Well, I'll tell you what, right? I had the guys over tonight, and I was showing them some of the footage directly off the camera, unedited, uncolor graded, and everything off that little camera. And Kyle, obviously, you know, and you know that, James is a fucking, he's a proper pixel whore. And he was impressed with it. Like, it's got a slight roundness to it on close-ups, but it makes the nerd pervert footage even more striking, i.e. no one else is doing that, which is what I strive for. I'm always trying to be different. But you wouldn't think it's come from an action camera.
No, exactly. And the thing is, what we don't understand is we're looking all around the screen, whereas the dirty bastards who are buying our shit, right, are looking bang in the centre of the screen, so they're never going to notice that slight curvature at the very corners.
Well, the thing is, this has actually been done really, really well. It's the really, really close-ups of the camera do look slightly bevelly, but not to the point where it ruins or distorts the image. It's light years ahead of the GoPro, even the new GoPro Hero 7. That's meant to have amazing image stabilization for an action camera, but the sensor's still a lot smaller than the Sony one, and the bevel is worse. The image stabilization is software only. This has actually got a built-in lens that moves in a camera that size. That's mental.
But when you think about it, right, I know you're fucking this girl fucking 7 ways from Sunday, right? But you're not giving her as a rough a ride as a fucking mountain biker going down the side of fucking Ben Nevis, are you?
No, I suppose
you don't need that much fucking image stabilization.
Yeah, I suppose not. I suppose not.
Funny, I was watching a fucking video for the GoPro Hero 7 the other day, like, and they were showing off the video stabilization before and after and all that sort of stuff. And I got to admit, I was impressed.
Yeah, it's impressive, but the thing is, GoPro do one thing that every action camera company falls foul to. It's a little bit of false advertising, and even Sony do it. In daylight, the camera's a lot sharper outside, and that's the only shots. It never shows you someone sitting in the fucking living room. That's when the colour grading has to come in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where believe it or not, I actually use my camera on completely manual settings. So I actually dial in the shutter speed, the ISO, the f-stop, everything, all manually.
Yeah.
So I'm never relying on, I'd rather do another take for the changing colour in the lighting condition than rely on a camera's automatic function, because obviously it might be quick. My camera's noisy as fuck when it's autofocusing. It does my fucking nutting. So I think it's a good skill to learn. obviously, 9/10 of editing is literally that 1% of is the film quality that you're working with.
Yeah.
If you're working with a high film quality, then we can do a lot with it. If you've got a shit film quality because it's been filmed on a fucking, I don't know, a Nokia 3310, they got cameras, the relaunch one.
Fucking hell, have they?
They can do this video, mate, 2 megapixel.
Fucking hell, that's the next level, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking six years battery life, and it's got a 2 megapixel video camera on it.
That's why it's got a 6-year battery life.
Yeah, exactly. I'm amazed I haven't had any of that stuff through to edit yet, I tell you, because people do. I know there's the thing of saying that there's no better camera than the camera that you got, right? But at the end of the day, a good quality camera and good quality footage is a lot better. We can do a lot better out of it than what, when you send it to us, than what obviously we can if it's completely garbaged up, fucking badly lit piece of shit to start with.
Well, since we've got like a nice audience listening to the UK Porn Podcast now, particularly your section, Dick, people are really loving it. I've got to say, if you are going to film on a mobile phone, put the cunt in landscape, you stupid cunts.
Oh, yeah. And a couple of girls that who are listening, hello. I think it works wonderful. However, stop filming it in fucking portrait, for fuck's sake, please, please.
But to me though, that's just common sense, right? If you've got your phone and you put landscape, that's the shape of a widescreen image or your TV. You wouldn't watch your TV and you wouldn't put it on its fucking side. So I don't know, even without being technical, even if you're fucking brand new, I mean, you're not brand new if you've listened to every one of Dick's tips so far, you're fucking well on your way. But if you listen to Dick and you get the computer he's taught you, the hard drives he's taught you, you're in DaVinci Resolve, and you fall foul to fucking putting that in portrait, fuck off, and you're not having any more advice off us. Ever.
Yeah, exactly, because there's no excuse for it these days, isn't it?
No, definitely not.
It's like, look, a mobile, don't get me wrong, there's fuck all wrong with a mobile phone, right? Mobile phones can do 4K. My wife's phone can do 4K fucking 60 frames a fucking second. It looks earth real, like. It boggles my mind, like what filming
which one's that? Because she's got the same foot.
P20 in it.
Mine fucking doesn't do that.
No?
Yeah. Has she got the P20 Lite?
I don't know. I just know it's a P20.
Oh, right. Right.
But there's nothing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with filming in it, and I bet you could really, with somebody who actually puts some effort into it, is not just pointing a fucking camera at you, could do a really good job with these phones, modern phones.
Have you seen? Have you seen the low light fucking capability on James Logan's fucking camera?
Yeah, I know. He keeps fucking sending me fucking shit all the fucking time. Oh no, it's fucking soy boys.
He actually said that to me earlier on before you came on. He was like, "Does he really like me?" Or I says, "No, he's dry as fuck, man. Of course he does." I says, "But you're a soy boy for life now, so you'll have to get used to that name. He's not going to stop calling you it."
Yeah, exactly. And no, he works hard for his fucking money. Good luck to him. Like, he's just fucking hell. When you're married, we're approaching our fucking 40s now. Fucking, it's more of a case of we need a bit more out of fucking.
Yeah, but think about how many more extra creature comforts could you get for the price of some Apple products. I'd rather have like 2 or 3 different tech products than one. Would you?
I'd rather the prostitute with the cocaine on her hip bone.
Fucking hell. Well, there you go. That's saying something then.
It's like BBW girls, mate. They keep you warm in the winter and they give you shade in the summer, mate. Fucking, that's why I love the fuckers.
So if Tim Cook from Apple's listening, Dick Salacious does not rate your products at all.
No, and the worst bit is there's a rumour going around that this new fucking 20 grand Mac they're going to come out with is going to have a Threadripper 2 fucking processor in it. So pay 20 grand for a PC that you could build for 5.
Yeah, that's what they do, though. That's what they do. They take existing technology, put it in their own design, stick an Apple logo on it, and go, £20,000, please.
Yeah, I don't think there is stable. I know that everybody says, oh, but you get stability with Apple and all that sort of stuff, right? Because you made a very good comment the other night, didn't you? On your Mac, before I converted you to a Windows.
Yep.
You can thank me later, Bill Gates, right? It's very much a case of you were saying, but I could render and I'd edit at the same time.
Yeah, where it uses 99% of the CPU now when I'm rendering a scene out on the PC.
Yes, right. So to put that into perspective, okay, for people who are a little bit uninitiated, okay, so that was a double core on it. It had 2 cores on it. It was 64 gig of RAM.
Yeah, it was 2 6-core processors with 64 gig, yeah.
Yeah, and so your current one is a 6-core with 12 threads with 32 gig of RAM.
Yep.
Is it as fast to render?
Well, I said to you, you made us realise the other night when I said, well, the Mac used to let us render, blah blah blah, and this doesn't. And then when you stated that technically the specs are lower in terms of the core count, like without the threads, and the RAM's less, then yes, it's probably going toe to toe with the Mac.
Yeah, exactly. But the difference is, for you to actually carry on rendering and editing it at the same time, that power's got to come from somewhere. So just because companies give you the ability to do it, doesn't mean that it's still going to work as fast as what it would on Windows, okay? Because that power's got to come from somewhere.
So in other words, if I'd gotten, a 12-core physical processor with like 24 threads and I had 64 gig of RAM, that would probably be 10 times faster than my Mac, because if a low spec one now is fast, this would be like, so Threadripper's just gonna be able to go around the world 3 times and kick it up the arse, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Threadripper, I'll pay my own train fare to come up and build it for you, man.
I know you're trying to get your hands on it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll fucking stick Linux on it as well and say, there you go, you bastard. Command line Linux.
Right, well, Dick, as always, it's been a very, very interesting chat, and like I say, it's never not informative with you, but I want to thank you for continuing to give useful tech tips to the masses.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry if it was a little bit boring for people tonight, but this is the next natural progression now.
Definitely.
In your little quest to become an independent producer.
Right, well, Dick, we'll hopefully see you in the next show, and thank you very much for all your tips, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, take care, mate. See ya. Bye, everyone.
Not bad fucking advice, that, mind.
Yeah, well.
Do you know what I mean? The problem is, right, I know he's like on another level.
Yeah.
But when he says it, and he explains it, it's like, fucking hell, that's really obvious. Like,
yeah.
Why did he even have to say that? Do you know what I mean? But I suppose when technology's not your thing, it's not obvious, is it?
Well, like, technology is my thing. Like, I love technology, but I just, sometimes when I listen to that, I'm like, fucking hell, yeah, I'm a bit stupid for not, like, thinking this.
A lot of it with him is knowledge and common sense. That's what I like about his section. It's definitely one of the best news sections we've had in the show's history, I think. Never mind, like, we've had...
Yeah, but you're a tech nerd and all that.
Well, no, but what we're trying to say is the reason why a lot of people fail in the business is because they're not utilising the technology at their disposal. And the come on, you can get an iMac Pro for £15,000 and it's only 18 cores, or you can buy a Threadripper 2 that's got 32 cores with 64 virtual cores like combined. You can get a motherboard for 150 quid that's got 3 graphics card slots, so you've got SLI 3 1080 Ti's, and it's also got enough space to put 128 gig of RAM in it, and that would come to under £6,000. So all I'm saying is, it's getting to the point now, as Dick always says, and he said in past episodes, where you can have a fucking render farm in your fucking home office. You could fucking render fucking Toy Story 4 on that cunt. Easy.
Yeah. Well,
obviously.
Not quite, but yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the Mac Mini farm?
I have.
Have you?
It looks brilliant.
Did you fucking Japs eye wink in that when you saw
a little bit? Although they were all the old Mac Minis, so I was a little less impressed.
Well, imagine if
I'd be more impressed with these new ones.
Imagine if it was all filled with the fucking 6-core ones.
I know.
Okay, no. Mine, that's not worth it.
Imagine them trying to replace all them though.
That fucking new one.
I must admit, I was impressed with the specs, but I'm not impressed with the price. Like,
I'm never impressed with the price.
That is more powerful, and that was 250 quid, and I've spruced it up, and that's more powerful than the Mac Mini. It is. It's an 8-core machine, that.
Yeah, I know, but it just doesn't look as pretty.
Well, of course it doesn't. No, I'll give you that. Like, Apple does do the best looking products.
Looks nice, but
I need physical.
I've always
hardware
went
results.
for looks, me, like.
I know you have. Shallow cunt. And that's with technology and fucking poon, innit? Right, so more adult industry news, right? So this is a report from the Daily Mail, right? That reckons coming to a living room near you, new reality porn app allows users to project 3D life-size actors anywhere, right? So they reckon Northern America's got an app that allows Android users to superimpose porn stars into an environment of their choice. Nice. The app uses AR technology to scan the room and place digital objects on top. The app also offers female and male performers with a few moves and dirty phrases. Users can pay to download actors completely in the nude. The CEO of Naughty America said, "It's the future of making content. People can make their own scenarios." The app is not available on Google or Apple, as both have policies against distributing adult content. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get it from any type of app store on any platform. I was just about to say, we didn't
but at least on
mention Apple
Android,
there.
it'll be easy for you to sideload it.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
I've got Android, it's better.
I think it is.
it
now.
isn't. But,
Oh, don't start getting into that argument.
But it says, get this, it says the app works similar to Pokemon Go, which went viral 2 years ago for allowing phone users to interact with the game characters in everyday settings. I mean, if you're out in the park looking
Same
for a
thing.
slut, if that's what it's going to be about, right?
Yeah.
And then you see another woman who's looking for a fucking man whore, just fuck her in the bushes, why? Put
Yeah,
your fucking
pretty much
phone
like.
down and feel the feeling of a nice, moist, wet fucking pussy on your dick. Like, this is what I don't get
In the
gamers, right?
bushes.
I know you're a gamer, but I just
Yeah.
don't get it, right? I don't get it, and I don't get that. I'd rather have the real thing, please. Virtual reality and headsets and putting it on so a woman's right in front of you and you can feel her sucking your dick is never going to happen. It's never going
but
to replace the real
For
thing.
those who can't
It's
get it.
just exactly. It's
I wouldn't purposely program
yeah.
a VR thing to fucking squirt all over my couch.
Okay, right. Paul,
Because you have to clean it
have
up.
you watched porn?
Huh?
It's the exact same thing.
What you mean?
It's just
I'm
it's
pretending she's sucking
it's
my
a
dick.
different medium. Like it's a different medium for it. That's it. I've watched VR porn and like it's insane. Like it's very different.
I don't like it for the simple fact. I think there's one thing it's missing, right? And it might be the only the ones I've seen, so correct us if I'm wrong,
Uh-huh.
is if a girl is like on her knees sucking a guy's dick,
Yeah.
she's too far away. Right? Now, yes, you can go, oh, look at them fucking curtains and look at that, and oh, fuck, they're watching porn on the telly and whatever, and back to her. But I want to then zoom in on it.
Yeah.
But because all the cameras have to be in sync, they would
Yeah.
all have to zoom in together, so the whole thing is like one camera and you can still look around.
Yeah.
They can't do that yet.
No,
So
you
I think
can't.
that's where it's slipping up. Because I don't want her over here. I want a close up of her mouth to see what type of suction she's got on it.
But that's
You know what I mean?
exactly where this AR stuff coming in. You will be able to do that because that would be. Now you can get VR and AR working together. All right, so you'll be able to get that because when you watch something in VR, it is very close. It's a lot more personal than watching something on a screen because you very much feel like they're right in front of you. And then with AR, you'll be able to get the movement that you want. You'll be able to move around the set, so to speak. And if you want to get yourself closer or further away, or look at a different angle, you'll be able to do that. So
if you want to lick
that does sound
If
kind
you
of.
want to lick a starfish, you can go in that close, can't you?
You could get in that close, yeah. But yeah, like I see what you mean because obviously with VR, it is a fixed perspective.
Is there any plans to introduce smell-o-vision into that?
Oh, God.
I mean, they've done
Everyone's
smell-o-vision.
got a different order, haven't they?
Yeah,
It's
pretty
not
much.
one fucking pussy the same when you go down on it, mind.
I would not be surprised if that is not already in effect somewhere in Japan.
You gotta be kidding me.
Well, Chinese girls sell the knickers in schoolgirl uniforms in Japan, don't they?
Yeah,
Even give it in
yeah.
like a posh fucking sealable band to keep the fucking flavours in when it turns up and that.
Fanny.
That's the future.
Sounds
that,
like
innit?
you
Hey,
bought some.
Loads of fucking porn stars in this country sell them.
I don't need to buy any because I can just sniff your knicker drawer when you go shopping, see, so, you know what I mean?
So what happens with VR when you put it on your face and
Yeah.
then you put your headphones in and you're jacking off and then your mum walks in or something, you don't even know they've come in, do you?
Exactly, you don't know the
Yeah,
colour.
who's coming
so
in.
she knows what I'm going to say straight away, right? But don't tell
Could
them
be
that's
anyone.
my story, right? One of my mates, right? He decided to have a wank one day, right? This is true, this. She fucking loves it already. That's all I need to say, right? He decided to have a wank, right?
Hope he's listening.
So he put his headphones on, right? And decided to have a fucking wank, right? So he was fucking bashing away and everything, right? And then he'd finished, pressed stop, put his headphones off, looked to his fucking right, cup of tea and some fucking biscuits left by his mum. Didn't even know that she'd been here. And I was like,
That would
oh.
have been embarrassing.
I was like, I'd be escaping using the curtains as a fucking exit. There's no way I could have walked down there, mind. Do you know what I mean?
See, if
That
I
is
was
kinda
the mother
class, I
though,
like.
I would have walked in, seen that, and not left
Yeah,
the cupboard.
exactly.
I would have taken it out and left it so you wouldn't have been none the wiser.
She'd have probably went in and went, oh,
Uh-huh.
shit. He looks like he's about to come, slap her his tea down or not, you know what I mean? It's like, fucking hell. I mean, he might have been ejaculating
he'll need
while she
these
was in the room.
biscuits
Oh,
after
don't
he's
say
done.
that.
Because if he had noise cancelling headphones on, then she's like putting it down and she's trying to get out. All and he's going,
dangerous.
fuck, like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it takes his
Should
mouth.
hurry
Oh my God.
out as quick as
So
possible.
she also has seen his son's dick,
Yeah.
like well into when he's like into manhood, right?
Might have
She's,
stayed and
she's
watched
caught
for a
she's
bit.
caught him fucking wanking. She might have fucking seen him come and see his fucking cum face. You know what I mean? And he's been
I don't
rewarded
think
by
so.
having a cup of tea and a couple of
Yeah.
fucking custard creams and that.
Custard creams.
You know what I mean? Well, I'm just assuming he didn't go into detail about that. I think he was more
Yeah.
embarrassed about his mum seeing
Yeah,
him wanking. Now
obviously.
he didn't go into detail.
And then
on
he
what
told you
biscuits
the
were.
story to make it even more embarrassing.
See, this is what I don't understand about people, right? If that happened to me,
No.
it never happened. You know why?
Mm.
Because nobody would know. Like, why would you? So you imagine that. So you're talking about like the latest episode of fucking The Walking Dead or something, right? You know when you have those moments in the pub where
Yeah.
you go quiet and one person. Have you noticed that one person starts to have a sip and then you all do it, right? And then you put it down. Aye. The other day, right? You just wouldn't, would you? There's no gap where you fill that in with
I don't
that.
know. It depends how drunk you get, man.
He wasn't fucking drunk. You telling me it's on fucking darts night
Oh well, weird.
before the other team turned. up.
One thing I think we should say is if you have any stories of that variety, you should send
Oh,
them in.
actually, yeah.
You
aye.
should send them
We'll have a
in.
laugh
Oh
at them.
yes.
See,
yes.
I've had an awesome idea.
Yes, we need to know about your misfortune so we can laugh at you.
Yeah,
And
come
tell
on.
everybody else who's listening.
It's obviously
we've got some
anonymous.
another
You don't
time.
have to give your
Like
real
James.
name,
I'll
so
wait,
it's not like
yeah.
anyone would know.
Go on, James.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can be called Love Child 75 or whatever it was called who emailed in, so we don't have to know your name and address and that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We want to know all the embarrassing details.
Go on, then.
Eh?
Hey, no, I'm waiting. I'll write them in.
Yeah.
Right, so now it's time for our interview with Selena Secret. So let's have a listen to this. Right, so I'm joined by Selena Secrets, and you've agreed to talk to the UK Porn Podcast. So hi Selena, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Obviously I know who you are and everything, because obviously, you know, me and you are mates now, aren't we? But
We are.
for everybody else who doesn't know who you are, who are you and what do you do within the adult industry?
What don't I do at this point? Well, like you said, my name's Selena Secret. And yeah, I started off webcamming and now I've progressed to porn and escorting and content creation and delving into the realms of production now.
God, that's a long list.
Yeah. Like to be involved in everything, me. And of course, I do my live streams as well.
Oh yeah, definitely great live shows them. Honestly, the graphics, it looks like a TV show when you're watching it.
Ah, thank you, my darling. I do
It's very good.
try my best, as they say.
So obviously you do all of that, but let's like go back a little bit further to when you first started looking into possibly getting into all of this. Like what
Yeah.
came first out of that long list of what you've just said that you now do,
The webcamming came first.
right?
Yeah, that came first. I did that for about 6 to 8 months or so before starting anything else. Just thought, give it a go, see how it turns out, and really enjoyed it. And yeah, it sort of progressed from there rather rapidly.
So what about like starting off as a webcammer? Like obviously there's a lot more into it than what people think. You know, girls just think you've got to tweet I'm live on cam, and then they think
Yeah.
people's gonna just flood towards their chat. But what did you have to research into though? Did you have to like really look at what other people were doing, or did you just go for it and learn as you went along, or how did you approach it?
No, research, definitely. That's the first rule. If any girl comes to me and say I want to start webcamming, research, that is the big thing. Research other girls that are online, decide what you want to do, what you don't want to do, and stick to it as well. Don't be forced into something or onto something that you don't want to do, because there are so many options out there for all varieties of sites and ways of doing it. But yeah, research, my goodness me, absolutely. As far as sites, equipment, what sort of style you want to be, your character, what you want to tell people you are, because there are very few people that play themselves out there.
Yeah, definitely.
But that makes it more fun because you can be whoever you want to be.
Oh, exactly. And I suppose the tech thing must be like Dalton, because a lot of models aren't very tech savvy. But we've got our own tech tips section on the show, Dixalacious.
You do.
So if you've
You
been
do,
listening
you
to that, everyone, he tells you how to start off on the right foot, doesn't he?
Yes, he's got some great advice. And I hope you've all been listening because it really does work. I'm proof of that. I am proof of that. I started, well, it's been nearly 3 years now that I've been going with the cam. And yeah, some of you have seen my setup, some of you haven't, but it's immense. But
If you
I
can
just-
fit it in one shot on the camera, you'll have to be against the wall at the other side of the room to get it
Yeah.
all in.
Literally, I've got a 4-screen setup here with 2 cameras. Oh, it's all been purposely built for me, I must say that. It's not been ready built for me, bought off the shelf or anything. But I'm lucky to have the know-how on how to do that side of it. Not everybody has, I do understand that. But if you've got a half decent computer, I know most of you girls have laptops, and that's fine. But obviously you are restricted on what you can do with those. But yeah, if you're starting out, half decent camera, half decent equipment, get on the one site and then progress from there. Don't jump in with a million sites and not know what you're doing. Start off slow and work your way up.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you've built up a bigger fan base on some of the webcam sites that a lot of girls in the UK don't necessarily know about. They think the main one's adult work.
Yeah.
So again, it's based on your research, isn't it? If you think adult work's the only one, then you haven't been looking hard enough.
Adult work is the one I've been on the shortest out of the lot. I have
See,
to
that would
say.
surprise people, that saying that, yeah.
Yeah. The one I started off with, well, all of them that I started off with, apart from adult work, are all American. They are all American sites. That's how I started off because, unfortunately, that's where the money is as far as people paying for porn these days, primarily. As far as the bigger girl is concerned anyway, because they got a huge liking for us bigger girls over there. So yeah, that's how I started out, all the American sites, and then I progressed on to the British ones.
That's cool. That's so obviously from webcam, what then did you start to go into from there? So you've done your 3 years webcamming. And when did you decide to possibly get into the modelling side? Because obviously, I suppose with you modelling on the American sites in terms of the webcamming,
Yeah.
you already saw that there was a BBW need for content, I suppose.
Yes, well, like I said, I was camming for about 6 to 8 months before I went into anything else. And I got offers coming through for porn shoots and everything. At that point, before that point, I didn't want anything to do with porn. Absolutely nothing. I didn't want to go down that route. But they kept getting asked by different people, different companies, etc. Most of them in America, I will say. But that's a different thing. And I thought, right, if I'm getting asked, I'll give it a try, but on my terms, no one else's. So did some research. Again, research, my big thing. And got a couple of willing guys. Filmed it myself, the old cheap way on a tripod type thing, just to primarily make sure that I was okay with it, that everybody involved in my life was okay with it, fine. And yes, it was okay. It was great, and progressed from there. And yeah, like I said, here I am now.
See, but what's interesting about that is, like, obviously the webcam helped you get into that other side of it because you could always see where the market already was.
Yes.
For obviously, your body type and stuff. So when you think about it, if you hadn't done the webcamming first, you might never have gotten into the adult industry.
No, I can honestly say I never would have. Never ever would have. The camming opened my world up, shall we say? Which I'm happy to say, to be honest, because I enjoy this life. I enjoy every part of it. There are obviously the horrible parts of this industry, same as any industry. That can be said across the board, around the world, with anything and everything. But yes, everyone I've met primarily is absolutely amazing within the business. I've worked with some great people. And yes, hopefully this is going to carry on. It has been hard, as you know, my darling.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been a long, hard struggle with parts of it. but it is starting to get the way I want it now, I think, because I'm focusing on me.
Yeah, but you see, you understand that it's patience and you have to sometimes give it time.
Oh, God,
You
yeah.
know, there was times I nearly walked away from the business when I didn't think I was getting the recognition I deserved in terms of many people weren't watching my stuff at the
Yeah.
beginning. And it's a bit disheartening, but sometimes you've got to keep going because if I didn't, I wouldn't be where I
Never
am
get
now.
anywhere.
Exactly.
No, exactly. No, that's it. I mean, like I said, I'm nearly 3 years in now from start to now. And yeah, if I stopped at the first hurdle I met, my God, I would have stopped straight away. I wouldn't be doing anything like I am now. It would have all gone at that point. But yeah, it's learning from your own mistakes as well as other people's, because they're all out there to see, unfortunately. But yes, know what you want to do and go for it, no matter who says no to you, no matter what obstacles get put in your way. If you know what you want to do and you know it's right, keep going, persist with it. It'll happen in the end.
You say you're one of the classic examples of like one of the girls who just started to make their own content, but not half-assed. You know, I mean, I know you started out doing a tripod, but that was a test to see whether you could physically do it.
That was literally purely to make sure I was happy with what I was doing.
But I mean, look at the standard of the stuff you're doing now, and that's coming from you, a girl on her own, with a camera guy and an editor and stuff like that. So it can be done. And a lot of girls just get bamboozled by the technology and they just look at, say, something like yours and go, well, I can't do that. But you can if you persevere.
You can, absolutely. And it's so much easier than you think. So much easier. You just literally need to know where to go and what to look for. And if you do have to hire someone to be a cameraman, etc., do your research into them. My God, so many girls have come back and had horrible footage
from an iPhone in portrait mode.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's so bad. I mean, yes, I know some phones can do amazing footage, but it's limited. Do not do it in portrait. And it's there's some of the scenes that should not have been shot on phones. You just need to know what you're looking for, girls and guys as well, because I know some of the guys out there have had bad experiences as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, research into the people you are working with, as well as the technology, as well as the systems. Just know what you're walking into at the end of the day.
I mean, one of the main things I always say is obviously because I've been in the business 17 years this month, and it's changed so much now. Obviously, the content's going to the girls now where they selling direct to the fans rather than shooting for companies. They do still shoot with companies, but that's sometimes just to boost their own clip sites as well, just to keep the finger in the more pro level stuff. But a lot of girls seem to have really taken to the content creation like really well.
It's amazing because it's their way of growing themselves at the end of the day. If we're going to rely on just companies within the UK, the work is going to be extremely limited because there aren't a huge amount left anymore. It is really limited. So if you want to succeed and get the career, then yes, you need to look into ways of doing it for yourself.
And one of the main things that a lot of girls seem to be lacking in is not necessarily the knowledge of the equipment and the actual, technology that they actually need. It's sometimes not keeping in touch with the laws and the documentation that you need to have on file. I mean, mentioning no names, but there's been a big hoo-ha on Twitter again over the weekend. There never isn't a big hoo-ha, by the way. But now there's a said model saying that there's a clip gone up who verbally from the other side said was agreed to use, and she's saying that it wasn't allowed to be used, and it's been put up on the internet. Now, even if he did say that, yes, you did, allow me to use it, and it was said verbally, that's still not good enough.
No, you've got to have the proof.
Because people fall out, don't they? It's like...
Yeah, you can be working together 1 month and be worst enemies the next, and you've got to have that proof on paper, documented, photographed. Oh, if you don't have that proof, you haven't got a leg to stand on, I'm afraid.
Well, and keep an eye on the change in laws. I mean, you know, there's one coming in
Well,
next
yes.
year, because if you're effectively a producer now, you're outputting your own content.
Mhm.
What if you shoot something that's banned and you just didn't know because you didn't look into it? You know, you've wasted
Well,
your time
yes,
as well.
Exactly. There are quite a lot of restrictions on the UK stuff rather than the Americans, which is a shame in some respects. But yes, if you don't know what you can and cannot do, you're going to get shut down from a lot of sites very, very quickly, unfortunately.
My specialist obviously like experiences the UK industry because I've worked in it for so long. So
Yes.
how long has the BBW niche, to your knowledge, been big in the US? Because in the UK it's only been for the last maybe 7 to 10 years.
In the US, probably longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, well there you go, see.
Yeah, it's been a massive thing over there for so long, and they cater to that market very, very well because it is a big thing over there. I mean, over here, yeah, like you said, it's 7 to 10 years, and it's still struggling, to be honest.
Yeah, there's
It
not a
is still
massive presence,
struggling.
is there? It's not
No,
big.
no, and it's a shame because in the real world, there are millions of men out there that love the curvier girl.
Well,
It's
British
fact.
guys do. It's a big British guy like sort of
Yeah, exactly.
thing that they into. I mean, bloody hell, we've all like scored with a bigger girl on a night out when we've all been single. It's like something you just do, you know. And the thing is, now you can see them do all the dirty stuff that like another model would do.
Yeah.
Why? You know, I just don't understand it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. But
No, that's it. I think the bigger girls are still seen to be, they can't do as much as the skinnier girls, and some can't. That's just a personal thing.
mind, to be fair, a lot of the ones that we've shot couldn't.
Mm.
They got quite tired very easy in certain positions and stuff like that, which we
Yeah.
don't mind. We just give them a rest and then we go back and do it.
Carry on.
But
Yeah.
obviously, I was warned by you prior to obviously shooting you that you can do all of the positions that obviously, you know, shall we say, a thin model, as society would call them, can do.
Yes.
Which is refreshing to hear because, like I say, sometimes the weight thing does stop you from being a bit more physical, and that's
It does,
just gravity in it, and you know, and everything else
Oh
involved.
yeah, purely it is your own weight working against you at the end of the day. But as someone in the industry, you've got to find a way that works for you best to do the different positions, to do all these different slim girls, she says in quotations,
Yeah.
things. And if you can't do some of them, you can't do some. There are some things which I can't do, but I've made it so I can do most of them. I mean, I do God knows how many squats every day, so I can hold my own weight up. I do this, that, and the other different exercises just so I can be at that level as well as all the rest of the girls in the industry, which bodes well for me, I hope.
See, so that's interesting. So you're actually you fall into the BBW category, but you've got a certain level of fitness about you that sort of gives you the advantage, and it's so easy for the other girls to start and exercise more, not to lose weight because that's their look,
No,
but to be more physically fit. Yeah.
Yeah, you can still keep the weight on, but just strengthen your legs and your arms, basically.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do to be, just so you can support yourself and not have to rely on anybody else as much, i.e. the guy with you performing. So you know, up to a certain point, you can support yourself, you can do that position, and then obviously you're going to get tired. Everybody does, whether you're skinny, big, or whatever. But to get to a level that you can perform for 5-10 minutes in that one position that you wouldn't not necessarily normally do is going to be a big thing for you when performing with a range of different people.
Yeah.
That's my thinking anyway.
So speaking of obviously you being an expert in the BBW area, because you've obviously studied that type of thing before you go into it yourself, I want to mention that even though the BBW market is quite small in the UK, you actually won an award this year. Now, I know you're like me and you don't make a big deal out of it and you haven't got an ego and stuff like that, but I think what was overlooked, was the importance of it, not just because you won an award, but a BBW won an award outside of a BBW category.
Yeah.
And it's just gone over everybody's head. I don't understand why people haven't noticed this.
No, I know. Because I spoke with the people that in charge of it, because it was the Glamour Awards, I will say that.
Yeah.
And yes, 99% of all the girls entered in all the categories were the skinny girls with big fake tits, long legs, etc., etc. Which nothing wrong with that. Obviously, if they're good at what they do, great, no problem at all. But then, yeah, I was put into the webcam performer of the year, one of the very few larger ladies, and I won.
So I bet you were chuffed just to be put into a non-BBW category anyway, just to be recognised as a model, nothing to do with weight.
Well,
And
yeah,
then you won it
absolutely.
as well. It's like,
Yes. I know there's a big thing about, because it was purely based on votes, which, okay, it's based on votes. I've got the fan base. But if I didn't have the fan base, I wouldn't be successful at the end of the day. Because I know some people have got a thing about if it's purely votes, then it's going on popularity, not on what the person can necessarily achieve within the business.
no, but hang on a minute though, right? If you won on votes, 9 times out of 10, the votes will have come from your fans who've watched you.
Well, exactly. That's my point. If I didn't have those fans, if I didn't have those supporters, I wouldn't have a business.
Yeah.
Those fans and supporters like what I do, watch what I do, pay for what I do. So of course they're going to vote for me. So I don't see there's a problem with that myself. I won, and I'm very pleased to everybody who voted for me. And yeah, like I said, I'm not a big one to shout from the
No,
rooftops,
no.
I want a thing.
I just can't believe you haven't getting more recognition for winning it because the fact that you won it outside of the BBW category. It's like UCAP years ago had a category for Best Female Performer, and one of the girls nominated, she didn't win, she was a TS performer. Now I thought that was like, you know, a very good thing to show that you're not just going to base it on looks, it's based on, you know, they identify as female, so therefore they can go in that category. It's the same thing.
Yes, absolutely. Why not? Why not? If they're good at if they actually qualify to be in that category, if they're good at what they do within that category, then why? Yes, of course. Why not?
I mean, I can see the argument. that obviously the Glamour Awards do it on votes, the Paul Raymond Awards do it on votes, UCAP do it on votes and criteria judging as well.
Yes.
And you can't tell any one award show like how they should do it because it's their award show. It's up to them. However, the only problem with that is that I've mentioned to UCAP a few times that they've still getting it wrong even when they do it their way. And by that I mean that, you know, that you can't keep an eye on what fans are voting for and what categories. And sometimes I had to contact UCAP and say, look, that girl should not even be in that nomination category. So the fans have been wrong. So if that is wrong, then when you get down to the judging, it's wrong before you even start to judge it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone was put into the Best Female Performer instead of the MILF category, and someone was put in the MILF category who wasn't a MILF. And I'm like, how did that slip by you? And you've left it like that now, and now you're fucking judging them. Do you know what I mean?
It's not just the UCAP that's done that. There are other awards that's not just UK ones, Americans ones as well that I've looked through. And because I know some of the models over there as well. And yeah, you always get one or two and you think they shouldn't be in that category. Whether they put themselves in, whether somebody else has put them in, I don't know. But yeah, you always get the ones you think, hang on a minute, they don't fit in that category whatsoever.
But if you've had so many votes in that category, they've been put there wrongly by the fans, is what I'm saying. So that's why sometimes votes only can still sometimes go wrong just as much as tailoring it a bit more personally.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I think every organisation who does an award show comes under scrutiny. I mean, look at the UCAP bloody backlash this year about models thinking they should have won instead of the girl who won. And I mean, how can you think that much of yourself? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's
just be pleased for people's success. And one day you might win one. If you don't, you know, as long as you're making money and your career is going well, it's like, I won, and my career hasn't changed. I haven't got more people wanting to work with us. I haven't got TV companies knocking on my door. Nothing's changed, you know what I mean?
No, exactly. It's just another day the next day, isn't it? You got your nice award and you just carry on with your own life, your own business. It's not going to drastically change your life no matter who you are or what you do. It's just nice to be recognised for what you actually do at the end of the day.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't know this in advance, and I'm guessing because you think about awards the same way I do in terms of it's not important if you win one and you're not bothered if you don't. Mine's in a drawer, it's not even out on display. Where's yours at?
In the cupboard behind me.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And there's people still now, you know, holding the award up saying, thank you for winning. Now, I'm not saying those people are wrong. If you are chuffed and that has made your year great, you know, it's a nice feeling. But for some of us, we're just like, eh.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the whole thing, being nominated and winning, of course, it's great to be recognised that people are actually enjoying what I do. But yeah, at the end of the day, it hasn't changed anything.
No.
I'm still carrying on with what I'm doing. So, yeah.
And I mean, jumping on from that thing about, like, obviously models, you know, denying people win the awards because they believe they should have won. Like,
that's a schoolyard teenage behaviour, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but you've had that personally, haven't you? You've had rumours going round about you just from jealous people because they haven't got the technology at their disposal. Like, I mean, seriously, the traffic you get's fucking mental. I mean, you do well at it. So they always, you know, why make something up? That's not going to stop people watching you because let's just say you were a bitch, right? The people who like watching you are not going to not want to not watch you just because of that. So it's gonna do nothing to your reputation whatsoever.
The people that already watch me know what I do, know what I'm like. So one person saying something horrible about me somewhere around the world or whatever, it's not going to suddenly change everybody's opinion of me.
Well, I just don't understand where that comes from, though. I mean, don't get us wrong, we're all in competition with each other in a way, I suppose. Yes. But the thing is to actually try and decrease someone's popularity by making vicious rumours and lies up.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, if you spent that amount of time learning to get the right technology, they might actually stand a chance of overtaking you.
Exactly. My goodness me. I mean, there are some vindictive people in the world, whether it's in this industry or out of it. But yeah, if they spent half the time actually doing the research and progressing their own careers rather than trying to get one up on somebody else, this industry would be so much further ahead in so many better ways. Because, I mean, no matter what this industry does in the future now or whenever, there's always going to be people looking down at us and thinking what we do is wrong and all the rest of it. But yeah, if you get people like that in the industry, it's not going to help whatsoever to anybody, including themselves. So what's the point? Just get on with your own business at the end of the day.
So as a woman, how do you feel about these, well, I'm going to call them so-called feminist groups who have a go at the industry and that people like, say, you, Selena, are getting forced into it by people like me and you're not doing it of your own free will? I mean, would you say be feminist at all to even be like that? Because I thought it was about female empowerment, not
that's
hating porn. Yeah.
My understanding of feminism is supporting each other in no matter what way of life you decide, what decisions you make, what industry you're in. Yeah, my understanding was the whole women supporting women and all the rest of it. But this whole thing of accusing men and women of being abusive and being abused, and I'm sorry, just if you're not part of the industry now, if you've never have been, you don't know what goes on in any respect. And yeah, 99% of everybody in the industry is not being abused.
Well, no. I mean, on Newsnight, Jerry Barnett was on Newsnight the other night, and I watched it. And Claire Dines, she's a very famous porn hater. She's made a career out of it. And she was on by satellite, and every time Jerry tried to talk, she was just talking over him. She didn't want to get...
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And you're like, well, you're losing the argument if you can't let the other opposition have the say.
I know that. I've watched a few interviews, not just about this industry, but other things as well. And yeah, they're just basically shouting over each other.
Yeah.
And you lose your argument like that.
Of course you do.
In a split second. Nobody's going to take you seriously.
But it's the percentage of research figures that she comes out with. That you never get told where she gets this information from.
No.
And you're just
she just claims it's all proven facts and by this scientist or that researcher or... Yeah, no, love, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, I'm afraid.
In terms of your own content, do you have a sort of ongoing niche, or do you more do random ideas when you just get an idea for a video? Like, what type of approach do you take to shooting your own content?
I'm quite varied, I must say. Up till now, I haven't really stuck to one thing, but I am starting to integrate my interviews into my work. which I think is quite nice. So I'm carrying on with that at the moment.
Oh yeah,
And
you
I-
mean it starts off as a chat, but then gets into something else, does it?
Something a bit naughty along the way. So that only works when the person's actually with me.
yeah.
Unless one of us shoots across the world somehow in the split second. But yeah, I've got my studio up and running now.
Oh yeah,
which is a big help.
recently set up, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, so that's all done, and I've got some more shoots lined up now at the end of this month, beginning of next month, which is amazing. We've got some naughty fun about to happen,
Cool.
which is always good.
And you've got a big, massive cross in the background on a wall.
Yes, well, that is going to be used, I must say.
That got a lot of interest when the Twitter pictures that went up, didn't it?
Yes, it did. So yeah, that is going to be used at the end of this month. So watch this space.
So how do you feel the industry's going at the minute then? Because I tend to think that we've sort of hit a sort of limit now where everyone's getting inundated with content share, obviously, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it isn't.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, we do a lot of it as well, but there's not a lot of good content share out there.
No, that's the only thing I say at the moment, really. I mean, with content share, sky's the limit, really. As long as everybody involved is willing, of course. But yes, you have to have the good person with the equipment behind the camera.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're shooting, how good the performance is. If you haven't got a decent cameraman with the decent equipment, it doesn't matter what you do, the content's going to be shit.
Well, even the organisation. I mean, mention no names, but there's a model who's been having a lot of trouble lately with arranging content share, and you're going to be working with her soon as well.
Yes.
And I think that's what she wants. Like, she comes to us and she gets an organised shoot where you get stuff back, and she's going to do that with you because I know what your work ethics are like and stuff. But it's like, why would 4 or 5 performers agree to turn up to a location and then just fuck about and not do anything? It's like,
I've got a shoot planned with her in the next 2 or 3 weeks' time, and we already know what we're going to shoot.
yeah.
The basic scenario is already set out, and this is 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Well, it was organised about a week ago, so a month in advance, really. So we know well in advance what's going to happen, who's involved, where it's going to happen, what time it's going to happen. It's, the ones that just turn up and think, I don't know what I'm doing today. It's like, well, why did you turn up in the first place? Why was this shoot set up? If no one knows what they're doing, how is anybody going to get a good experience out of it at the end of the day?
But you see, the problem is a lot of them are still thinking in performer mode, and performer mode is usually that they get told what to do when they show up. So I think the change of them having to have their own ideas is the sticking point sometimes, and I think they know they're going to be having sex, so that bit's dealt with. But it's more than that now. You've got to give people so much more.
Oh yes, well, like that's it, because some of the girls are coming from only ever having paid shoots to having to come up with their own ideas now for the content share. And yes, it is hard. Everybody gets stuck with ideas at some point or other. Of course they do. But there are millions upon millions of videos online for free as well as paid for. Go and get some ideas. No idea is original. So you can always get ideas from online, from somebody out there somewhere. It could be from 20 years ago, but the ideas are out there for you to go and find.
Well, it's like us. I mean, we get fair reviews in America, but what a lot of them pick up on is the fact that they said we've taken the fake casting agent sort of idea a step further. But when they say step further, they just literally mean it's still nothing that you haven't seen before. It's just, it doesn't start with a girl knocking at the door and coming in sitting on a casting couch and the guy's face is blurred out. We've given it a bit more of a bit more depth to it and a bit more.
Well, yeah, your whole thing has got a personality of its own.
But other than that, it is still the fake casting agent thing. So I haven't invented that, and I suppose it's a fair assumption when these reviews do say it's nothing new, but they've added humour and a little bit extra, and it does give you an overall different experience. I mean, I think that's a fair comment. So you're right, you cannot come up with something that no one's ever thought of. It's impossible.
No. You can put your own spin on it. Absolutely. Everybody can put their own spin on it. But yeah, unfortunately, There might be one or two people out there that can come up with something that's never been done before, but it'd be very, very rare.
And I mean, obviously, the switch between paid and content share is really, really changed for us as well. I mean, I was against it at first, but we tend to only pay the new girls or girls who haven't got a fan base because they do need the money because they can't do anything with the videos. But the amount of people who come to us now and they've got their own, clip sites and they rather just have
content.
Yeah, so in your personal opinion, because you're a model and you do content share, so you do it with other people outside of your own stuff as well. What do you feel is the benefit from it? Like, a lot of people say, well, I want to get paid, but I see that is that you are getting paid, just not on the day.
Absolutely. Content share is paid work. At the end of the day, it is. As long as you've got the sites to sell it on, it is paid work. But more than that, if you're on a paid shoot, yes, okay, you do your job, you get paid the money. That's it. End of day. You get a few £100 for the day. Well, that's it then. That's all you get. Whereas you come away with the content, you can sell it and sell it and sell it and sell it and sell it. A few £1,000s later, well, who's better off?
And I think it's only a select few models, I think, who are against it now. And obviously, you wouldn't approach them anyway because you can see that they're not into it, and that's fine. Everybody's different.
That's absolutely fine.
But you can tell that they still believe that, no, they should be paid. But these companies, the companies that are still around, including us, you won't shoot a person that many times to warrant a full-time career out of it.
No,
so you have to do both, I would say, personally. But
Yeah, you can. I would say, especially these days where there's so many models out there, you're only going to be able to shoot for one particular company a certain amount of times before they say, no, thanks, we've had enough of you now. Because there aren't that many out there now. You've got to expand yourself as a brand, as a model, as a business of your own. You've got to expand, otherwise you won't succeed, unfortunately, these days.
So have you got any advice, like, for someone with your experience, especially with the technology side of things? If anyone's starting out and it's a little bit daunting, like, if they're not very, technical minded, then there is places that they can go to, like Salacious Creations, obviously, is a company that's based all around that,
Yes,
and stuff like that.
Got every realm of technology advice you can have.
God, that's an understatement.
Yeah, literally.
I think it's got all the parallel universes as well.
When it comes to the actual equipment, when it comes to the editing software, when it comes, literally everything and anything. Even if it's just a simple bit of advice, then fine. If it's full-on blown help, fine. But there's always someone out there that can help. But I will say, try not to put on everybody, but if you're getting advice from other models, fine, absolutely fine. Just bear in mind that they are your competition.
I always say that, to be honest with you. Right now, I was talking to a new girl a couple of days ago from Birmingham. She's brand new. She's never done it before. And she said she was talking to a few models. And I didn't advise her not to. But I did say you're better off picking, even if it is a model you're going to listen to, just listen to one girl, because everyone's got their own way of doing things.
Oh, God, yes.
And what works for one works for others, and you will just not be able to take in all the information. And what I always say to a girl is, I'm going to give you the advice and I'm going to answer your questions. But if you do the opposite of what I say, don't come and ask us again, because you're listening to somebody else. And if you rather listen to them than me, no problem. But try and just pick one person, a model or a producer, whoever it is, and stick with their advice, because
when I first started just with the camming, I went to quite a few different people for different advice from almost all of them. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. But at the end of the day, you find what works for you. If you're gonna go to one person, not listen to a thing they say, don't expect them to help you again, I'm afraid. If you find out what they told you was right and what you've listened to is actually wrong, that's down to you at the end of the day, not anybody else.
Well, it's like I said to one girl, she said, well, what about producers? Producers might tell us what, I might want to hear just for their benefit. And I was like, yes, I'm not saying models just do it, producers will as well. Yeah. I said, but the difference is, when I give you advice, sometimes I don't even end up shooting you and I still give you the advice, so I'm gaining nothing from it. I haven't even getting a shoot out of it, because you've chose to go and work with someone else, which is fine. That's your prerogative.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is, at the end of the day, it's individual model's decision. At the end of the day, no matter what you decide, it's your decision. But if you go to a producer for advice, they are a little bit more likely to tell you the truth. I will say that, because they're not your direct competition at the end of the day. I mean, there are thousands of girls out there that will happily give you advice, and it will be good advice. But yes, it is what works for them at the end of the day. It may not work for you. It may do. You may end up following every bit of advice and you skyrocket to the top and make thousands of pounds, dollars, or euros, or whatever. And that's absolutely amazing. But always take any advice you are given, from no matter who it is. Always put it to what you are happy with and find what works for you. Because if it doesn't work for you, you're not going to make anything from it.
So Selena, since you're a production house, obviously you're always going to be after talent and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
as a production company, like, what can you offer them if they want to come to you for like content share and stuff and get good quality stuff for their own clip sites and stuff? And what are you specifically looking for?
I'm looking for a whole range of people. I have no limits on who can come to me to shoot. Absolutely not. But men, women, like I said, if you're a TS as well, I'm yet to shoot with one, quite willing. I have a studio here, and I have my very own cameraman. But at the end of the day, what you will get from it is obviously full content share. You will go away with a copy of the content. Up to you whether you want it edited or not. It's entirely up to you. You can have the raw footage and do whatever you want with it, or it can be sent to you once edited. But not only that, you'll get a full range of pictures from the shoot itself. You will have your watermark put on it. If you would like a watermark made, that can be arranged. And of course, if you let us know what sites you are planning to put the content on, then it can be tailored accordingly. Because I know, as you know, all the sites have different requirements on what.
And bit rates and resolutions and no music and yes music and yeah.
Some don't care, thank God. Others have got restrictions up to the nines. But that can be all done for you, as long as we know beforehand, obviously. It can be tailored to suit you at the end of the day. So you get full range. And of course, you can get an interview on my Periscope channel.
Which has got a lot of hits, so that'll be very, it'll be a good idea just to get yourself out there more as well.
Amazing promotion to be on that.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself, plugging myself there. But yes, you'll have full interview with me. You'll get an intro movie made for you. You can choose from a full range of ones I have. Choose your own font. So it's tailored for you. The interview is all about you.
Right, well, Selena, thank you very much for talking to the UK Porn Podcast. Obviously, I've done your show before, so it's funny being the interviewer instead of the guest. So, but thank you very much for doing this, and hopefully you'll come back and chat to us again sometime.
I'll be very happy to, my darling. It's been a little bit weird because I'm used to people watching me and nobody can see me.
Yeah, we just want your voice, sadly. That's all we want from you.
All a bit different, but thank you so much, my darling, and I hope my knowledge and advice has helped somebody out there.
I'm sure it does. It was all good stuff, so yeah. Right, Selena, take care and thank you for chatting.
Thank you, my darling. Bye.
Bye.
Canny.
Interesting, you know?
Yeah.
It's always good, like, hearing different people's opinion on the different areas of the business, I think.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
and how they came to come into
well,
it.
yeah, because you get some similar stories, but they're also entirely different in their own way. It's weird. And that, you know, and we've interviewed a lot of people over the years who've been performers to being like just video editors or cameramen or fucking web designers or whatever, and it's just interesting. I like to fucking find this shit out. What's wrong with you?
My hands are hot. I'm getting rather bored.
Because it's fucking heating. I've turned it off and it's still
Hey,
like...
it's 4 guys.
Yeah.
Well, 3 guys and then
exactly,
me, and it's like body heat as well.
See?
Well,
She's
well,
getting
it's
hot
been-
because she's sat next to you.
Exactly.
I'm just like, I'm going to strip off
So
soon.
am I.
That's lucky. Yeah, but you're getting off because you're sitting next to me, not
Oh yeah, sorry.
He can have a good excuse.
He's just stripping for him now.
I did say I was going to strip. Top layer.
They can't watch
Fine by
them.
me. Yeah. Anything to make Paul jealous.
Yeah.
They
Now-
listen though. Oh.
The last bit of industry news, right? I don't know how this has come about, but apparently there's a new clip platform just come out, right? And it's called darkcloud.com. Right, so I looked at the website because I was like, well, you know, what's going to be different about this? Because even I've noticed with It's Adult, it's been difficult to get people to use that part of the site. They seem to like the podcasts and the news articles and everything like that, and that bit's the strongest point of It's Adult. Second to that is the profiles for models to get work. A lot of people have been getting work through It's Adult, which is great to hear because that's why it was set up. In fact, years ago when I was a UCAP member, me and Terry Stevens, who's also a joint owner of the site, talked about just our database years ago, and a lot of people couldn't get their head around it because there's very, very old people in UCAP, that's all I'm going to say, and they don't know what electricity is. But so it's always been on the back burner, and that did eventually become It's Adult, but it's become so much more than just a database of talent and services and stuff. But yeah, the biggest part that we found hard is getting people to watch the girls on webcam. And I don't mind admitting it, you know, it's no secret, it's a learning curve. So anyone who comes to the table with a platform like that, trust us, it's fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, best of luck to anyone who does it. So I had a look out and I thought darkcloud.com, and I was like, is this a fucking onion site? You know what I mean? Because like it's a bit of a like weird name, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, they say that they pay 70% of net revenue to you. Well, that's common, that, so that's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's Adult pays less. Just putting it out there. Movies, images, and camming. No long-term contracts, no upfront fees, and no risk. When all of them is free to sign up. Razor sharp graphics.
Whatever that means.
Mobile friendly. Mobile camming for models, and no flash. Well, obviously everything's HTML5 now anyway, so
Yeah.
you know, this sounds like a 1990 clip site that thinks it's ahead of its time. No offense to anyone, but you know, push notifications to all users for content updates. I've just had one now while I've read that. That splashed up over this. And weekly payouts and no holdbacks. I'd love to know how we're going to do that.
Holdbacks.
Because I know holdbacks are different to chargebacks, but the chargeback thing was a big problem years ago with just members' websites, not clip platforms, because this is before any of them sites existed, where if someone joined your site and then said it was shit, they would just say it on purpose. The billing processor, so example, someone like CC Bill or someone would fucking charge that person's card back, and they've had access to your site for fucking nothing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, hang on a minute, like, I know you just deal with the payments, but maybe you should leave it to the person whose site it is to ask the customer why they weren't satisfied, or if they're having trouble playing the video files. I know you don't get that anymore now. Before you used to go, oh, have you got DirectX fucking downloaded on your fucking Windows Media Player, where now everything's MP4 and everything's a standard file format. But there used to be times when some people just couldn't play your video files, and instead of asking for a chargeback, why don't you ask the fucking person whose site it is and they'll help you? Because they want to keep your membership. They're not going to say, oh, get fucked off if you don't know what fucking AVI is. You know what I mean? Fucking hell, show me age now, AVI.
Hey, I've still got some of that.
Nearly as
on my
big as that
side.
fucking file you give me over there.
Oh, Christ.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so best of luck, Dark Cloud and everything, but to me that just sounds like something that we've already got.
Yeah.
But it's like porn, isn't it? You think you're doing something new, and you might be presenting it differently or packaging it differently, but it's still just porn. And I think now, how are you going to come along with a clips platform that like stands out? I think the best one's ManyVids. Not just because of the fact that it's a clip platform site, but some of the little subtleties and personal touches they put on it, I think is very strong. You know, like you can decide to give an offer on all your clips for the week, and you just type the value in of how much you're giving off them, and just stuff like that to make it more personal. So it's not like, you know, this week is 50% off for everyone's profile, and they've made a decision for you. It's your decision.
Yeah.
And I think little things like that were quite good. And
I still need to like fully look into all of those clip sites.
Well, the thing is, I think ManyVids, the reason why they came along so strong was they probably did what we did with It's Adult. We looked at what we thought other people were doing wrong.
Yeah.
Or as a content producer, me uploading my stuff to different crypt sites, what annoyed us, what wasn't obvious, what was temperamental, what sometimes failed, what got banned even though you followed the criteria, there's nothing, you know, stuff like that. And we tried to make a difference. So when you think of it like that, many vids must have done the same because it's so easy to. I mean, I've never been once annoyed or stressed or pissed off using that platform. It's very, very intuitive, and you can tell a lot of work's gone into it.
No, okay.
It's like hats off to many vids, you know what I mean? By the way, we're not sponsored, but if you want to, you know what I mean?
I know, why not?
Not that you need the fucking help, like, but you know.
True.
The thought's there, though. Right, Scarlett. Sex fact of the week, please.
I learn every week.
Radio. My sex fact of the week. It says more than half of all couples decide to get it on within 1 month of first going out.
Fucking hell, that's late for some people, I think.
Well, yeah, definitely. But
Any of us wait years.
Really?
Oh, you've drawn the short straw if she says, what you doing, it's like, well, I really like you, and we've been seeing each other a month now, and I think you should let us stick my cock up your ass, right? And then she says, oh, don't do that until after marriage. And then if you said that, and you're like, what? So I'm going to get the fuck you up your ass if I marry? And it's like, fucking hell. You'd even put a fucking cola bottle ring on the finger just to get it to say yes, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? You'd worry about the fucking D one later on. But yeah, no, well, I think that's... I don't know, though. Can you really say... I mean, how old's that fact, though? I mean, obviously, it's not your fault, but, like... Because when you think about it, like, Plenty of Fish and fucking all these other websites...
There's a lot of one-night stands, obviously.
You meet up
but, like,
just for that, and that's not a month. You could meet someone tonight if you wanted.
Yeah. Well, I always, back in the day, used to... Well, it used
back
to be...
in them days.
Back in them days when I was young.
Yeah.
It used to be, like, the first date type thing. But with my partner who I'm with now, like, we didn't for about 3 weeks, something like that.
Oh, you were nearly a fucking week off from being that statistic there.
Nearly.
Jeez.
And I was like, fucking
But I think
hell.
the guy wants to do
You're
it
gagging by then,
straight
like.
away anyway, but the women might, if it's just
Your
like a
hand
virgin,
was
she's
keeping
going to
you
hold it off.
company, was it?
It was.
Still is, isn't it?
So what about you,
Oh, never
Craig?
stop working.
When's the longest that you've gone before shagging someone after meeting them?
God.
Apart from
It
on
was-
my set, which is literally like 20 minutes after the cup of tea, I think.
It's normally not long, but the first time I did it, it was a few months because she was a virgin.
Was she, you jammy cunt? I've
and I
never
was-
done that.
And I was young
Oh, you know.
as well,
No.
so it was like, you know, it took a long time for... Well, I'd do it straight away, but obviously with it being a virgin, I don't want to sort of do
Oh,
it.
you
like
do. You
straight
want to get
away.
it over as quick as possible.
Yeah,
to say you've
I
brought
had it,
someone in.
but, you know...
I've never managed that.
See, when I was a
Yeah.
virgin, I must admit it took a
Would
while
you?
before I obviously
Felt
was
comfortable,
dating.
wasn't it?
He was my first
Yeah.
ever boyfriend as well, my proper first ever
You don't want to use
boyfriend.
either.
And obviously he was older than us, and I was like near 18 and stuff like that when it happened.
Bet he wants to fuck you again. Now you're a fucking famous fucking reality show star. Fucking hell.
So yeah, it was like it took I think longer than a month before obviously I did it with him, but
Right.
since then, whenever I've had like a boyfriend and stuff, it's been within a month. Well, within a month. I think it's because I'm a horny bitch that I end up just jumping on him.
Fucking hell. That's fucking mental, that, like, isn't it? And she's sat next to us and she's never fucked one of us. I mean, how fucking inconsiderate can you fucking get? You know what I mean?
James, though, I think.
I'll give her a roof over her head when she got kicked out. Do you know what I mean? And fucking, and I didn't even give her a fucking nosh, and I give her a good fucking, like, a good deal on the fucking rent.
Could have been better.
No, well, it could have been better, but it's better than everyone round here. If you fucking lived with fucking someone down the street, you'd be paying double.
I wouldn't be getting the harassment that I get with you though if I lived down there, so the money would be worth it.
You almost sound like you act as if like I've got cameras in the fucking shower or something.
And you don't?
No, I
Yes,
do
you.
that.
I bet you do.
I do know when to draw the line, you know.
Oh yeah, right. Bullshit.
Fucking hell. See what I mean? She can't wait to fucking leave. So, that's it. Thanks for listening to the stream. And if you've enjoyed the chat, I hope you'll join us again real soon. And for everyone who's emailed in the questions, let's hope we pick one of yours next week.
Yeah.
And get some
thank
good
you.
stories next week as well.
Yeah, from how your mum caught you doing something like you shouldn't have been doing. We really need to
Or
do
even
that.
with a girlfriend or someone walking in on
Or
you or
someone-
anything like
yeah.
that. It's like something funny.
So once again, if you're a company or a web designer or a sex shop chain, I have to say that because it's in the script, right? I know it's a no, right?
I know. I've asked.
Or even if you're a model
I've
and
had
you've got
hard
like
no.
a clip site to fucking sell or whatever, like to advertise, we've got reasonable sponsorship packages for different levels of people in the business. So if you're interested in advertising on this 2-hour live stream, then email dustfilmsxxx@gmail.com. And you can also tweet your questions at us or email us or YouTube them at us or, you know, whatever you want. So we like to hear from you. So that's it. So goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me, Craig.
And goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
1, 2, 3. Fuckity bye. Oh, it's gonna be a fucking thing. He started saying it when you started laughing, so that counted. He said someone else said it with us that time. Fuck
You
it.
didn't hear it though, did you guys?
No, but he was in my earshot.
Oh yeah, right.
As soon as you started
You're
laughing, he
trying
went.
to save face.
No, he went.
That's it.
He went. Fuckity. That was half of it.
I forgot what it was.
Oh.
So
So he was going to join in with you. I'll give you that, but he still didn't though.
Yeah, I forgot it.
I'm sticking with the adults.
Where's
With the podcast.
Where's the fucking stop
That'd be
streaming
me.
button at?
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more.